Scrivo's feeling it. Scrivo's feeling it.
Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to the Weekend Warriors edition of the live stream. That's right, we're joined by John and Tom. I'm going to intro them in a minute, but it's a whole weekend of live coverage. We have a Games Workshop reveal today, which is obviously very, very exciting. And we've also got 10 hours of Warhammer content tomorrow. I say Warhammer content, Warhammer adjacent content for the 369 Stream Streak birthday.
Is that a spoiler, Rob? Are you dropping Easter eggs in the stream ready for tomorrow? For what's coming up?
No,
okay, right, there we have it.
No, none of that.
I thought I'd get those Game of Thrones Redditors before they get us, mate. Just that's all. Yeah.
Is that a coffee cup behind you, Rob?
No, none of this. None of that. There's none. I've got this Starbucks cup, though. It's not Starbucks. Anyway, can I just thank everyone for joining us live? Grey Lycan, thank you for resubscribing. Big shout out to Hermanista. I've had a morning watching Tom.
He spent the entire day watching me. I think I'm a little bit concerned at this point, mate, to be honest. Like, he needs to fucking chill. Like, disgusting.
He does need to chill. Right, so let me introduce. We do have another guest coming in a moment. Thanks for getting us on a hype train. Whoop whoop to Cyphers Blackadder. Cyphers Blackadder's first time as a subscriber, I think, in the chat.
He's got a cool name as well. That's a banger. Nice work.
That is a banger. Don't forget you can use your Prime subscription. Thanks for that. Don't forget, if you are a subscriber, you get to use all the new emojis that John has done because we're a partner now. I won't mention it many more times, but probably 800 more times.
I'm going to be honest, Rob. I can't personally think of a better way to use my Twitch Prime than to make sure another human being eats. It's better than giving it to XQC, who does nothing with it. Just give it to a man who needs food.
There we go. Which is
give it to Rob. He needs primes. So give him a primes. Fuck your silly abouts.
Hey, we got to partner. This is going to be our first React show as partners as well on the Twitch platform. So excited about that. Mr. Chuckabutty, I think, is joining us at some point soon to make our fourth seat in this ATV of life. And we are now we're but hours away from exciting new announcements. Mima, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. Hope you're all well. Gus the Hut also. Oh, that's lovely. After we raided Gus the other day, he's joined in this stream. Thanks, Gus the Hut. Merry Christmas to you. Right, Tom, talk to me about your morning. What have you been up to and how you been?
Oh, mate. So since you last saw me, here's what I've done. I've been to work after sleeping 14 hours. I then did that, came home, played a game. I played a Sisters Mirror match, mate. I'll tell you about that a bit later. And after that, I went to bed. I just woke up this morning and I played another game. And now I'm here. So I have played a lot of 40k. I did not enjoy it. The games were lovely. The game was bad, though. The people I played were lovely. I enjoyed interacting with them. I enjoyed playing the game, but I did not. You know what I mean.
Well, if it makes you feel, I've got to keep hydrating. Thank you, Twitch chat, for making sure I stay hydrated. Podcast bros do also stay hydrated, of course. Thank you to everyone who subscribes on Patreon and on all the other gubbins. I also played 40k yesterday, Tom.
Oh, did you?
Uh-huh.
How did that go, and who were you playing?
I played on TTS.
You did?
Probably. It went really well, but I'll talk more about that later as well. I had a thoroughly great time, is what I'm going to say. Yeah. So we can argue about how good 40k is in a moment as a game, because I love that. Oh, BMAP, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. Nice work. Just so you guys are aware, if the more subscribers we get, the more emotes we're able to unlock. You basically, for every 50 subscribers, you unlock a different emote, and we promise that we will bring you only really deep-cut emotes that really are references to, like, very serious in-jokes that you don't really get. Like, the 500-point Stomper emote is kind of like a deep-cut joke for 40k players
I'm so looking forward to spamming that in the chat later. By the way.
That's the only reason it's there, really, isn't it?
Oh, OJ, Owen, look at that, mate. Thank you very much,
Owen
buddy.
Jackson, thank
he wants
you
more
so
emotes.
much.
He likes
Thank you to Owen Jackson for gifting 5 subscriptions. That does mean that everyone who has just got a gift subscription can use the Owen fans emote, which is in the chat. Oh, and Off the Shelf Hobby, thanks for donating 5 gift subscriptions. Holy shit! All right, okay, guys.
Those are the guys we raided on Thursday.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah! Thanks. Oh man, thanks Off the Shelf Hobby.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate you. That's lovely of you. Make it raid, boys and girls.
They really want those Owen emotes. They really want them.
Everyone wants the Owen emotes. Yeah, that's what I want.
I need to farm currency in the Games Workshop chat to spam.
That's a good
Batman
point.
with the big emotes. Right, anyway, John, talk to me. How have you been? Thank you, everyone, for gifting subscriptions. You're all legends. It's very much appreciated. John, tell me how you've been.
Yeah, I've been really good. Since yesterday's stream, I've just been cracking on with more background work stuff on the stream. So there's no new emotes, unfortunately. I was doing other stuff, but yeah. And today I'm trying to keep myself busy. So normally when we're doing these, I'm sat here just kind of staring blankly at what you guys are up to. So I'm actually trying to do some building because I haven't really done any hobby for a while. Yeah, exactly. I'm just normally this void of like, I'm just here. But I'm building some witches because I've been avoiding them because they're fiddly little bitches.
Which ones?
These ones.
Which ones?
So hey, look, a reveal, guys. Da, 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 da.
Not again.
So these are Dark Eldar witches. The box says they're Dark Eldar, so they're not Drakari. So I might need a different book for them.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Those ones are out of date, much like my new book, mate. Much like my new book. Did you see? So I learned this yesterday, actually. That's a very nice segue. I'm quite pleased.
Can I thank the Dreadwoods for also donating 2 gift subscriptions and for everyone for subscribing? You're all Mima for resubscribing. You're all brilliant. Thanks for being here. This is a hype weekend. Yeah, brilliant. Please continue, Tom. What are you going to say? Oh no, hold on. He's taking a moment. Which is fine. If just while Tom takes a moment,
it's fine.
I'll
I
let
just
you
want to
know,
go and guess something, mate.
this is what I'm currently painting, if anyone's interested. They say it's a miniature, but I mean, it's miniature compared to how big a gate would be, I guess, but that's what I'm painting.
It's true. So I just rolled over there to pick up my new Munitorum field manual from White Dwarf. Now, I didn't actually pick it up because I read the wrong side on the spine, and I've got the first one. So I do over there have a hard copy of my new White Dwarf points manual. So I can tell what all the points are in a hard physical copy.
Right, perfect.
Except I'm not entirely sure if I can because I believe it's out of date compared to the February FAQ.
Oh, is it?
I think it might be.
So so let me get this right for the precedence here. Thank you also to Magic Thompson for resubscribing. So let me get this right for the context. So for 40k, let me get this right. I have the Field Minotaurum manual. Pre-winter. Nice.
Yep, that's that one.
But then the PDF FAQ online updates many of those things, making that kind of worthless.
Correct. It is, yes. So that's in the bin.
Okay, perfect. And then there is the White Dwarf supplement one, which is
pre
the PDF.
Is what I've been told, but I haven't actually had a chance to check it out. I don't. So the reason why I wanted to ask is because I thought the chat might know. Does this contain the points post February FAQ or pre February FAQ?
Jeez.
I could think of no better way than to ask 150 people.
Get the right answer. The Honest Wargamer chat.
Post FAQ ones. Okay.
There is no chat better than the Honest Wargamer chat because they will 100% try to mislead you and or not help you, Tom.
I think we should do a straw poll. What points it contains.
And some of the pages in that booklet are essentially A4 size scaled down to that book, so they are tiny font as well.
Is it possible to, can we cross-reference it with the 40k app, Tom? Let's do that.
No, because I haven't actually put any, right. I've got all the hard copy books, but I haven't put any of them in the app. I haven't put any of them in, because I don't want to log in anywhere.
I tried the app yesterday.
And how was it?
Fun fact, if you make an Outrider detachment that is all Ravenwing stuff, it doesn't refund you the points. Battlescribe does.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, it's learning. It's learning. It's like a robot that's learning. You guys need to cut it some break.
It's one of those. You know when like Microsoft makes a Twitter bot that learns from its surroundings, and then it immediately becomes awful because everyone just spams horrific things at it.
Okay. Would you say that they have intentionally made the points a little bit difficult to understand where they're from, so that we all go to use power level eventually?
No.
Definitely.
Damn it!
Definitely.
Good try.
Oh, thank you everyone for helping us get a level 3 hype train. Which means we've got some emotes in the chat. Choo choo!
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got some
How
hype
was your
coins.
game yesterday, Rob, by the way?
Pardon me?
Were you playing it? How was your game yesterday? What were you playing against?
Okay, yeah. So my game yesterday, I played with Death Guard against Necrons.
Cool.
So some really fun learning stuff. Number one, really fun game. Number two, it's so interesting how minutely different it is to Age of Sigmar that it becomes a bit of a problem. Like it felt so weird, right? Like I hijacked an objective with 10 Terminators, and I was like, fuck you, like smashed the unit off the objective. I was like, this is mine. And the next turn, he just flew over with one objective secured Scarab and was like, no, actually, it's mine. And
I feel like this happened before with the bike captain.
Yeah, 100%. Nick J. Fowler, thank you for resubscribing. What it was actually, it's because in Age of Sigmar, when you get on an objective and you beat the other person off the objective, you're like, yeah, this is mine, 5 points or 2 points or whatever, right? You're like, this is my objective. I own this. But now it's like, I own this. And then next turn someone's like, no, actually, I kind of own it. Actually, fuck you. And you're like, no! And it was a weird feeling, honestly. I think because the Necron Force was all objective secured. So I had 10 Terminators, glowering 100-year-old monsters covered in Nurgle bile, ready to decimate anything, and then a single Scarab was like, hello, actually this is mine. And I was like, damn this, this makes no sense. So that felt a bit counterintuitive, but at the same time it's just a learning experience which I really enjoyed, and it felt a little, I don't know what the word is. I was cocky, I think is the right answer. I was like, I've just banged on a cheeky rhino on that objective. That's a point for me. And the next turn he just flew over an offset unit. It was like, no, actually, no point for you. And I was like, oh, damn. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. The other thing that was really important was I super enjoyed the terrain. I loved the terrain. We played with WTC levels of terrain, so there are 12 pieces on the board. And its ability to block angles. And so it was just so fun. I just felt like I was playing on a map or something. It felt so relevant, and I felt like I was using the board and movement. So being movement 5 was tough, but I was like you weren't shooting at each other from across the board. I was like, I'm pretty safe here, actually. So those engagements...
It felt like a proper skirmish game.
Yeah. It felt so good, man. It felt so good. So I was really excited about it. So yeah, honestly, really, really fun. I don't think I played well at all. But and the game ended as a 57-57 draw, by the way.
There you go. Perfect. I thought you were going to say you got smashed, because whenever someone starts a sentence with, well, it was a great learning experience, it tends to mean something bad has happened.
They're all generally good learning experiences when you play games, ultimately. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at. It felt so different. Also, first time I feel like I've properly played on really good terrain boards properly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was so important. Important, and it made the game just feel really good. So I had a lovely time. Thank you very much, everyone, for asking. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us live. Very lovely of you. How was your game, Tom?
So I played 2. So I played the first game, which was a Sisters Mirror matchup. Now, I actually really like playing mirrors, because this is going to sound really arrogant, but I don't lose them very often. The last time I lost a mirror was in 2018. Against Tom Higginbottom of Six Nations. Yeah. The time before that, you have to go back to 7th edition, where I lost Tyranids versus Tyranids again. The time before that was 2016 May against Josh Roberts. And that was throughout when I was playing Ynnari, and Ynnari was everywhere. So I was playing Ynnari mirror match after Ynnari mirror match, and I'm really comfortable in mirror match games. So this one was a bit weird in terms of...
Side note, you played Sisters versus Sisters last night.
I played Sisters versus Sisters last night.
Did you, for most of the game, say, this is a sister act?
No, I did not. I did not use that phrase once, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Were sisters doing it for themselves?
Furious. I am furious, is what I'm going to say.
What it came down to a lot was who got second turn, and I did. So it was a lot easier. I could have punished him a lot harder, but I dropped down with a unit of Repentia. Retributors, which had 4 multi-melters, 2 armored cherubs. You then have a combi plasma on your Retributor Superior, so you blow that up on 1 using Miracle Dice, so everyone hits on 2s because you're Armated Lady. So you get a +1 to hit when you've lost a model from that unit. And then, that's what I'm saying, Codex, but not that entire Ynnari section. Then I shot all my shots, so I had 12 shots Fuck you. That was very toxic. 12 shots into the rhino, and I did 6 wounds to this rhino with 4 multi-melters, 2 of which fired twice, hitting on 2s. And if I killed that, I would have had easy access to his entire backline, including his Triumph, his Exorcist, all that kind of stuff, with my remaining Retributors and Repentia that were off the board. So it kind of screwed me a little bit, but it ended up being a 13-7 to me. So it was a useful experience. And then I just played against Deathwatch. I just finished that game. And my word, it's frustrating to kill those things when we're all toughness 5, have a 5+ DPR, and you have got transhuman every turn because you can't charge multiple units because it's something with always strikes first.
Okay.
So it was a tough game because I was really struggling to just like delete stuff because you charge your Repentia and you're wounding on 4s, so you get 12 wounds through 5 DPR. You're not really killing too many models. So it wasn't a massive win, but it was another 13-7. So I'm getting a bit more comfortable on the Sisters. I don't think I played it particularly well last game. I think I could have done things a lot better, but it was still a win. The previous game I thought I played quite well, but we're still going to go with it. I'm going to play 3 more games in this Northern Warlords League I'm playing in. I'm going to play 3 more games in the Scottish League I'm playing in, and then I'm probably going to switch over and play something else for a bit.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's interesting. You rate the power level of Sisters to be quite high?
They're good at the minute. They're good at getting decent numbers of points, but I don't think they smash too easily unless your opponent makes a mistake or builds a list that doesn't do too well into them. I think they're going to fall off a little bit, specifically because you're including a lot of things which are like -1 damage again or what have you, and they also struggle in pairings a bit because you can't just lob them out, and I think you can build quite a lot of lists to deal with them. In 9th edition you tend to want to build like little bits of shit just in your army just to lob out, and that just happens to play really well at Sisters. So if you build a list that can play the mission really well, you can probably build a list that plays against Sisters really well, same against Harlequins. So I don't think they are gonna smash and win big events, or would hypothetically smash and win big events when we start playing those. But obviously we won't know because the game's going to evolve a lot by the time we get to that. But they're a very toolboxy faction and they're very useful to have. But I don't think they're a dominating smasher that everyone seems to have this fear that they are, because they've got a lot of tricks.
Everyone seems to think that they're very strong.
They are strong, I'm not going to deny, but once you know what their tricks are and you understand how they work and you understand from their perspective, if you think Sisters are insanely strong, they are, but I would recommend you play 5 games with them because that'll really help you understand from their perspective their limitations.
Well, so one of the things I'm excited about today, and I think is really relevant, well done Tom for the reveal in an hour's time, is that we might be seeing the new Sisters of Battle Codex with a swath of new units. I think is a thing that we're mainly predicting, right?
Yep. Hopefully. That could be cool. I know they're getting a couple of new units because they released those weird-looking walker things with the legs, right?
Yes. But
yeah,
I feel like that's going to be part of maybe a larger army.
Because we've seen a preview shot that looks like a Rhino chassis with a turret that has at least a heavy bolter on it.
Yeah. That could be immolators, because immolators can take heavy bolters or heavy flammers.
They already do. That's the thing. That's already the kit. So
okay.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more Sisters of Battle, which is again, who doesn't? How many Sisters of Battle hard counters are there? None.
So, hey, Lamar, I was actually going to start listing, but I was ready to go. Can we get out of the habit
of these jokes, please? That's the important part.
Fucking Owen Jackson, classic.
That's a good one. I really enjoyed that. Okay, all right, good. John, what is it you're building and painting?
I said witches. So these are witch cult witches. So I've built 5 already, and I was just like, I've avoided building the other 5 because they are fiddly, and I'm definitely used to. I'm used to painting and building big chunky things. So this is quite a change.
Welcome to our new co-host for the day, Jim Vesal of Duplicity Paints. He's welcome in the show.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? Isn't it like 3 a.m.?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling?
It's 6 a.m. here, and I was up at like 5 a.m. this morning, and like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. I have awful insomnia, so
fair.
I'm not very good at this.
Yeah, well, having you on the show is lovely. Thanks very much. Jim basically just recently started his own Twitch channel with some podcasts and YouTube stuff. Super good if you got anyone who wants to tune in and check it out. But you can join us today for the live stream, the reveal. Are you excited about today, Jim?
Oh,
Dear me.
rip. That's fine. I can tell you a Scrambler story if you want.
Yeah,
Oh,
please do, Tom.
don't.
Please
All right.
do. Tell me a Scrambler story.
I got DM'd something while I was playing my game. And it was a clip from Manny's game on Glasshammer. He was playing like Space Wolves vs. Thousand Suns or something.
There you go.
And Dan wasn't playing, so they had the Welsh boy from the store he was playing. And the clip is literally just he's listing out his secondaries and where he took them. So he has a couple of secondaries and he gets to his last one. And he's like, well, when I don't normally know what to take, I normally just take Scramblers. And it just appears on the bottom of the fucking list. And I'm like, oh, God. Why have you done this to yourself? And apparently they both maxed it. So I'm going to go bully Manny in DMs later. But like,
well, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't pick Scramblers yesterday, but I did pick Raise the Banners and I got 0 points. So
I picked Raise the Banners today and I got 12 and I didn't even have to do anything. So I got more points by doing fuck all.
Whatever. Who cares? Who cares about your opinion? That's what I say, Tom. Jim, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Sorry, Sorry?
Glad to have you here. Lovely to have you here, in fact.
Thanks, man. Lovely to be here. I was so my team is doing pairings. We're playing a scrim against Poland right now for WTC, and they're doing pairings right now. And I was like, "There's no way I'm getting up for Poland's pairings at 6 a.m." Lo and behold, I'm like, "Maybe I'll get up to watch Warhammer Reveals though." I was like, "Here's my predictions. You guys take care of it. I'm gonna go watch the Warhammer stuff."
Did you basically just leave Chris to pick your board for you then?
I didn't think he knows I'm awake, so please no one message him that I'm in here.
Let's keep it. No one. If we can just keep this between us, couple of hundred people, that would be nice, please.
Yeah,
I can see the Discord messages like kind of happening right now, but I'm just pretending that I'm asleep still.
That's okay.
So one of the things that happened yesterday, so 3 bits of news actually that are fairly significant actually in Age of Sigmar terms that aren't related to the stream today, is there were 2 brand new books, the first campaign book and also the Drukhari book. Similarly, last night, and this is pretty big news in Age of Sigmar world, the new Warhammer Underworlds faction, the Seraphon, have been released, and we got their War Scroll, which is a pretty big deal. So this is like a fun little thing. I'm not 100% certain, Jim, if you're like aware of this, but I'll just catch you up. Like you probably are. Basically, they release an Underworld warband, and then they also give them an Age of Sigmar War Scroll, because you obviously play Underworlds differently. And that's actually really interesting, because really it's like a mini upgrade for each codex. Sometimes they're terrible and they're not very useful, and sometimes they're brilliant and they make it into quite a lot of lists. So it's been
all by Trogoths, which are neither, and they just appear everywhere, right?
Yeah. Trogoths are like Occam's razor as an army. Yeah, they're neither terrible nor good, but they're everywhere all at the same time, and no one really knows why. Mainly because the people who play them are mental, I think, is the main one. So that got released yesterday, and it's fine. It's quite strong. It's got some kind of weird. It's got 2 heroes, but it's 225 points, which I find quite interesting. There's not really loads to unpack about it, but it's quite thrilling to get more of those. Especially as today we're probably going to be seeing both the new OCR Bone Reaper one, and we're also going to see the new Idoneth Deepkin one, which I'm quite excited about. John, you quite like the Underworld's warbands, right?
I went through a phase of playing it, but as it's gotten further and further into kind of the release schedule, I've kind of lost really my steam with it. I think it's because as the cycle has gone and the cards got discontinued and stuff, and they kind of did the whole magic thing of like what the current like acceptable things to use in a tournament were, a lot of players switched off, so locally people stopped playing. So lovely models though.
But did you know in Sweden there is before COVID there was a 300-person Underworlds event?
Why? There are 300 people playing Underworlds?
Yeah.
At the same time. Not across the world,
willingly, consensually.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, which is pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, it is cool.
So I think cool. Jacob Berry said that over in the States, quite often it'd be the Friday night warm up of an event. They'd play that rather than playing another game of Age of Sigmar.
I mean,
it doesn't surprise me.
It's better than playing AOS Skirmish. Let's be honest. So
yeah.
I mean, it works.
So, Bathe the Nozos in the chat says 225 points for the use in AOS. It's not actually the first example of 5-point differentials. So something probably coming to Age of Sigmar and Age of Sigmar 3 is, Jim, I know granularity is a big thing in 40k, but check this out. Normally, Age of Sigmar guys only have to put units together in multiples of 10. Just like, it's either 170 or 180. Nothing in between. Like, how dare you suggest something be 2 points cheaper? It's either 10 points more cheap or more expensive.
Imagine micro tweaking your game.
Yeah, it's funny because I always sometimes I look at the complexity of the 40k unit compositions, and I'm like, I just wish there was 2 options, and everyone either gets X or Y, and that's it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, so this model has this multi-combi thing, and this guy has this other thing, and then this guy has this 4th thing, and this guy has this 5th thing, and each one is totally different stat lines. Like, even the nice thing about AOS is like no one really cares what your weapon is called. It's just like, what is the hit roll, what is the wound roll. In 40k it's like, okay, so you got the translocator beam cannon and the multi-dimensional Gauss flare. Like, it's like, what okay, so what do those guns do? Like, every gun is different, so it's like the amount of info that you have to know. Whereas AOS, you're just like, what's your hit? What's your wound? Okay, cool. See you later. Like, I don't care about anything else. Really.
That would require them to put enough weapons in for both options, though, Jim. So I feel like we're kind of screwed on that front, mate.
Yeah,
that's never going to happen.
I was about to finish. I just did 10 Chaos Terminators, and I magnetized the left side of every combi weapon because I know that in the new Codex they'll probably only allow what's in the kit.
Oh, mate, you should play Grey Knights. Holy shit!
So I'm very wary of that.
The Terminators behind me are the same. They've just not got a combi weapon on the other side because you can make combi bolters and that's it, or a couple of each of them.
I honestly think it's a better way to do army building. Like, I'm like playing both systems. I honestly think the Age of Sigmar system is just flat better. Like, you can keep the detachments, but just like the this is your unit, and you can have like, and I like that it's a box as well. Like, you buy a box and you're putting the box down. You're not putting half the box down, or like, I want 2 more dudes. Like, for instance, playing Marines as an example, you run 5 or 10. Yeah, you don't run the 7 you get in the box. So, like, maybe you do, but maybe you don't. Like, but I think you either run 5 or 10. So you have to buy a weird amount, and then you like. So if I buy 3 boxes, I've got 2 10s and 1 guy. Like, oh, hello, and I love that. I think the fact that I think that's super good, right? I like that.
The Plague Marine data sheet is literally a full page, and you need like a degree in mathematics and like astrophysics just to like interpret how many of each special weapon you're allowed and how many models unlocks each version. It's like, you may have one of these or one of these, but if you have this, you have another one of these, and then every 6th one can have this. It's like Fibonacci numbers plus prime every prime number of Plague Marines you're allowed an extra weapon. It's like, oh my god, can someone just tell me how many like Blight Launchers I can have? Like, I don't want to have to try to figure this out.
Spider Derpative makes a good point in the chat. It's like buying 8 buns for 10 hot dogs. Agreed. I feel like I'm getting high on tranquilizers, and
you're just gonna end up with 2 hot dogs and 1 bun at that point, mate. It's awful. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's just pretty. Where does one find the Seraphon Warband War Scroll? It is on the web store. So if you're on the web store and you scroll to the bottom, find download, and there you go. You can do that.
Question for you guys.
Yeah.
So traditionally, and I was under the impression that generally the warbands were like kind of like a preview of like you'd get the warband first, and then the army would come out sometime later. Mm-hmm. But whatever happened to like Dark Oath? Because I remember when they released the Dark Oath Chieftain, and they did like the Moon, the Goblin, and then I think they did like 2 others, and all of those got like full releases, like the Night Haunt. They released like the 1 character from each, but we never really got like a full Dark Oath release, like a full like Chaos Marauder release, did we?
I think you got Warcry instead, didn't you?
I think
Warcry
it's Warcry
instead.
Yeah. But I think it's so obvious that the Warcry warbands were clearly the new Chaos range, and then they just cycled back and were like, let's make a different game out of this. Like you've got a Tzeentch Force, you got like a Tzeentch like Marauder band, you've got 1 for each basically. And then like there was clearly them like that, and they were like, no, cool, we'll make a whole separate game out of it. I don't think which is like, and loads of people seem to like Warcry. Loads of people seem to like Warcry. Yeah.
It's really solid. It's good fun.
It feels redundant. Like I'm very confused at where it fits in with Underworlds. Like it almost seems like it should have been the same game, in some sense.
Yeah.
But or it's like I guess it's like AOS version of Kill Team.
It's a better version of their Kill Team though. It plays and flows very organically. It doesn't feel like cutting Age of Sigmar down into a skirmish game. It's actually got rules for a skirmish, which flows better.
If they had just called it Mordheim, I would have bought it. So
that's just pour one out for Nick, who's not here. Who Mordheim, best game ever. .com.
At some point when we need to go to Canada, we need to get Jim and Nick to play a game of Mordheim on the stream. By the way,
I would watch that. I would have no idea what they're doing.
So I watched your preview stream last night before I went to bed. So I went to sleep dreaming of you, John.
Pretty hot.
Nice.
And Rob, you were talking about how Necromunda. I think you mentioned that you really need a DM, otherwise.
Yeah.
So my last game of Mordheim, I was like, I meticulously built the coolest Witch Hunter warband, put it down on the board, and like instantly just rolled, just quit the whole campaign, like rage quit, like 7 years ago. I just never played again. Like it's up there too. Like you definitely need a DM for a game like Mordheim too. Because you can like you should be able to get Amazons with like laser weapons. It was crazy.
Too good.
Yeah.
Too good.
Yeah.
Or we just play Gorkamorka.
I would say that like the concept of like build it yourself. Like I know that there's always that conversation about competitive and narrative. Just point out as a narrative channel, who always puts down narrative armies. I played Death Guard army yesterday. It was narrative. I'd like to point out.
The narrative was to win the game. Yep.
No, my narrative was like, dude, the whole thing's a story. So, but the point is, that like I think it's actually really, really, really hard. So I've been to a narrative-only event before called Realms at War, which is so that there's all story. Like the event pack was super intense. There was loads of stuff. Like basically the guys kind of had to like usher you around between rounds. They're like, okay, in this round you're only playing with 1,200 points, and the story is this, and this is the guy you're playing. And I was like, okay, this is like I wish I'd have done mushrooms. This had been so fun, right? But
I wish that every game.
Yeah, every game. But but honestly, the amount of work that goes into it, it's easier to play a pickup game of competitive Warhammer, in my opinion, than the effort it takes to do story-based wargaming. Like
100%.
So much effort.
I mean, everyone just comes into it knowing exactly what you're going to do. It's not like you have to plan it weeks in advance or days in advance and understand what it is that you're doing, right? And make sure that your lists are both kind of like similar levels so you have an interesting game or build a story around it, right?
Yeah.
I'm also a narrative player, as you can see by my 11 Death Shroud tournaments I'm painting right now.
Good narrative.
Very narrative. Very good narrative here.
They're all. I hate that. Like they make all of the armies narrative now. Like there's less soups. Like whichever game system you're playing in, your army you put down. If you put a whole Sylvaneth army down, or you put a whole Death Guard army down, that's a story. Like right there, that you've got the whole story.
A very sad story if it's Sylvaneth, man.
Well, I'm just saying. Hey, Darren, can I shout out to Darren in the chat and everyone for joining us live? Thank you. And also to the OG Charlotte, if she is watching. I'm not sure if she is.
Is that Darren from Canhammer, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder where his Death Guard. I wonder where their team's Death Guard player is.
I was like, don't rat me out to Chris. I was going to ask, you guys did that prediction show last night, and I thought it was really interesting. So at the end of most of these previews, they always do like a last drop. I think the last one they dropped the Be'lakor tease. Any predictions for that, like big secretive end of the thing where they're like, yeah, this is it, and they're like, or is it? And then they drop like one more teaser. Any predictions for that kind of like that tease?
Ooh, okay, that's exciting. So, like, what books do we think are coming out currently? I think Sisters and Admech are the obvious ones, and maybe Knights. Yeah. Sisters, Admech, Knights feels like the three.
Yeah,
you can't really reveal an
the three Imperium books. That would really be bollocks.
Yeah,
Jim, did you see what they put on the Dark Eldar newsletter?
It's the
first Xenos book.
Oh god!
I completely forgot about that.
Necrons are like, am I a joke to you?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Absolute state.
So as a good question. So that's and for Age of Sigmar, we've got So someone asked me earlier, like, I'm the only person you've heard talk about Age of Sigmar 3. So like in the Age of Sigmar community, I think the reason I think it's coming out is because I think it's patently obvious because they release something big pretty much every summer, and then because they've got to hit targets. Maybe they won't, but they don't. They've been working towards it, right? The Broken Realms, this is how they do. They have a bunch of narrative, which actually, little pushback on... I read an article, I don't know who it was, by Variance Hammer, disagreed with almost everything in the post. However, the good point in the post, in my opinion, was that it's nice. The Book of Rust for 40k... I'm sorry, I 3 thoughts at once there, very quickly. The end of an edition is almost a bunch of narrative build-up, so a bunch of books, Psychic Awakening, in this case Broken Realms, and then the launch of a new edition. Yeah. The point that they made in that book, that what's actually really nice about the Book of Rust for 40k coming out, is that it's the start of the edition-ish, with narrative in it. So there isn't just, what's the start of the story, some Psychic Awakening stuff, and then all of a sudden, the Return of the Silent King, but then now there's more story in it, and actually... That's, I think, a really good point.
But now I'm concerned about what they're going to release at the end of the edition.
And it's earlier in the edition than Vigilus was as well, because Vigilus was a good 18 months, almost 2 years in, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the lovely Chaos Space Marine Codex version 2.
Which was totally not a failed launch attempt.
Yeah, that wasn't the new edition, but slightly later, right? That wasn't that.
Totally not.
Sue Longer, thank you for subscribing. Big love to you. Thanks for using your Twitch subscription.
Now Rob can have a jam sandwich. It's great. Good choice.
Yeah. That's very much appreciated. So prediction for the end. I think maybe we'll hear something about Age of Sigmar 3 or the next Broken Realms book. But then Be'lakor was good for everyone, right?
Yeah. I can't see it being Age of Sigmar, though.
You don't think it'll be Age of Sigmar?
I think because we've only just had them preview the 3rd Broken Realms book, they don't want to do what they did with Pariah, which they essentially released that after they'd announced 9th edition. And at that point, they just killed anyone's interest in that book. It was a shit book anyway, but not the point.
Wow. Didn't it have 3 units, an Inquisitor and 1 Necron character stats in it, and that was it? Yeah. What was? And
people were like, "Well, we're getting a new book at that point." It's like, cool, we don't need this because we'll just get him in the new Codex. So people just didn't buy it. I didn't even order any in the shop. No one asked for it.
That's
0.
But I imagine you had to put up a perspex screen to stop everyone going after the terrain book. That's what people were.
That's still on the shelf. I got one in just. I was morbidly curious to see if I could sell one.
There was a train book. That's news to me.
Me too.
No, Jim, we've blacklisted it, mate.
Okay,
it doesn't exist.
We don't talk about it on the show.
It's Imperium propaganda. It's not true.
I just hope.
Go on,
I just hope we get a preview of what the next 4 books are going to be, the codexes.
I would like that, yes. I think they do that really well. For Underworlds, they do that really well, where they've got the roadmap for that and Necromunda. They just go, here's what's coming next. So you at least can plan.
Yeah. Oh, thanks to So Longer, who I'm a podcast bro normally, and I realised I could give you my Prime Twitch thingy. Thanks, So Longer, and also stay hydrated, babe. Yeah, sweet. I would agree with you guys. I think we could end up. I don't think it will be Age of Sigmar though, because we're too far out. And I think maybe we might see a roadmap for 40k because they kind of have to address the concerns of their production problem at the moment. Surely, and you would hope that that's one of the things we're going to see. Well, I think we're going to hear a lot about the story stuff. Do you not think that's what we're going to see?
Maybe we'll get a trailer to one of the animation things because they've teased. What's it called? Hammer and Bolter, which is all the kind of anime style shorts. So maybe we'll see that.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see plastic aspect warriors. Okay.
Oh, don't.
I'm going to say that every time until we get them.
I gotta say with Tom, I heard my first Craft World rumor last night, which I don't know if is true. And I won't repeat it here for sake of protecting my sources, but I kind of feel like it sounded bonkers first of all, but second, I feel like Craft Worlds, they are due for a bit, they're the army with probably the largest find cast range at this point. Yep. And I just feel like it's as much as I hate Eldar because they're always good in every edition, it's time Games Workshop just give us. I want to play Eldar, but I refuse to play them until they have a proper range because there's zero chance I'm painting a single thing of Finecast.
When I buy an army, it basically is a one-use only army because by the time that I've finished using it, like all the Finecast has either melted or fucking bent itself, or it's all broken in the box. And it's not because I don't have proper boxes; it's because the Finecast is fucking awful. Like
it is.
Also, my driving is bad, but apart from that,
I saw a guy's army. I think it was in Texas, and it was like he left his like army in his like back seat of his car. And in Texas, it's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is for us normal metric people, which is probably like 35 degrees Celsius, which is bloody hot.
Still hot.
I guess it's very hot. It's not hot. And like the whole army just went, and it like was like literally like. They like kind of curled up into like little like.
By the way,
see the little thumb like
people don't know. Jim is literally the expert in leaving your army in dumb places and getting it back all in one piece.
That's true. In my defense, it was stolen from me while I was buying a cat. So,
did it? You still got it back though, so it worked.
I did get it back.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought you just left it in an airport, mate. To be honest.
What does the Twitch chat think? The big like the what is that called now at the end? The tailgate, the MCU like
the fade away.
The last scene. It's got a name.
The pre-credits like.
No, is it post-credits?
Post-credit, yeah.
Teaser?
So
Teaser?
The one thing we haven't seen anything of, so when they first launched 9th, they had like a little spinny thing that showed the Palatine for the Sisters, the Skitari Alpha, which they're previewing today, I think, because it's the thumbnail.
Don't say it. Don't you dare say it. I'm so excited if you say it. Go on, carry on.
The only other one they haven't shown is the big green boys. So I think Orcs could be what we see, because that feels like the next step, and it's like Craft World. It's not quite as bad for the Finecast, but there is a lot of Finecast infantry for them. So
weird boys.
That was something we can see.
Orcs need like a completely like ground up redesign because they have just got loads of units. Like I feel like every time that they think about doing some new Orcs, they just like throw it to someone. They're like, "What do you want?" They're like, "Race cars," and you're like, "Sweet."
Oh.
And like the one before, they're like, "Pirate gunners." You're like, "All right, that doesn't really fit in with race cars, but sure." Yeah, like what's that? Like
pirate gunners in the race cars.
We just don't have any idea.
Because we were talking about the zombie kit yesterday. That came out in '99. The Orc Boys originally came out that year as well, so equally as overdue.
Although they do hold up pretty well.
Oh, totally. But
like the zombie, I'm tired. Already tired of painting Poxwalkers, so I was like, maybe I'll check out the zombie kit to see if that's like a directional go. And I looked at them and I'm like, these are. I forgot how awful these were.
So chunky.
Yeah,
you could put them with some like guardsmen and make some cool zombies, but then they still look old.
But now you've mentioned it for the Age of Sigmar stuff. I'm very like vampires are probably the army that I'll be right in on. Like for like if it even remotely goes down the aesthetics I like, it's probably the army I'm going to invest in. Like as my next Age of Sigmar army, because I just like I haven't really played many Death Forces. I keep being tempted to pull the trigger on Flesh-Eater Courts. Keep being tempted to pull the trigger on OCR Bone Reapers as well, because I think that like they weirdly are one of the most like classic fantasy armies in a weird way. They've got your war machines, they've got cavalry, they've got monsters, they've got infantry. They're like really nice. So I'm very excited.
Characterful characters as well.
And now because they previewed some zombie models and some zombies in a vampire force, so you've got like your elite kick-ass vampires, probably some like monstrous units as well. I still feel and vibe on werewolves a lot, and so like I'm vibing that's going to happen, and I'm excited about that. And then zombies means chaff, objective holders, really positive. So yeah, I think I'm really in on that. So that's probably the thing I'm most excited about today. And I hope we see some like really good detail on those. Yeah.
I hope we get a Bone Reaper etc.
Yes.
Because he's like they're like basically the spiritual successors to the Tomb Kings, right? The Bone Reapers in a lot of ways.
The Bone Reapers, yeah.
They got the catapult. They got all. So if we got like a, because Nagash is very much like Sigmar, where every time he's in trouble, he's like, resurrected that old dude. Like Sigmar opens the vaults every few years to like get some reinforcements, whereas Nagash is like, all right, I'm gonna go drag some old crockety fantasy character from the past and like resurrect him into the Age of Sigmar. So maybe it's time for Setra to make his return.
So he's he's already back. Is
he though?
Well, like he's been like referred to like in the lore, and I think so we've already got Balthazar Gelt's already back. He's a Stormcast now, which is fun. And I think that
just a regular dude, or is he like an actual character?
Not an actual character, just a regular dude, but like he's in there, which I think is super nice. But yeah, I think that there are some really good characters you can bring back. Krell's in there. I would really like. I don't know if you know about the sad ending of Heinrich Himmler. I don't know if you know the journey Heinrich Himmler took.
You mean necromancer with hat?
Yeah.
Well, you've ruined the tale I was going to tell. Damn it.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So
I just assumed he got betrayed by Manfred, because that seemed to be the ending of about 3/4 of the characters in End Times.
Well, when Kimmler got moved into Age of Sigmar, as John had just pointed out, most of the characters. So you ended up with Manfred, all of the on foot Finecast characters just became like vampire on horse, vampire with sword. All of the amazing Empire characters. So all of them, they just became like Empire. At one point, you could buy 18 sculpts for a free guild general, either on foot or on but there was loads of free guild generals. Basically, they were all who were all named characters. But I think the saddest situation was Heinrich Himmler, because he just got turned into necromancer with hat.
Pronunciation, mate.
They renamed his model.
The first time you said it.
Did I say? I said Heinrich Himmler.
Model. Yeah.
No, Himmler is the Nazi.
Yeah. I said Himmler. I said Kimmler.
Not Kemmler.
Yeah. So basically, he got pissed on, but not by a troll.
Please stop.
Heinrich Himmler.
I don't think
it's Kemmler.
Back with a name like that. So
Yeah, you got to avoid that one.
That's a very important mistake to not make, Rob.
Oh, well, it's okay. I still didn't say it, so it's fine. Yeah?
Okay. Good.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, I don't want to derail it. I just thought Jim would like the story of what happened to poor Heinrich Himmler.
Thank you. Very good. Much better.
Well, okay, so I thought you meant there's an actual storyline with what happened to him, not just that they took his model and renamed him as Necromancer 1 or whatever. So that's why I was like, wait, what? So I was very confused, but I understand now.
Oh dear.
If the chat could leave me alone, that would be fine. Yeah. I'm currently painting something pink. Yeah? Would a Nazi do that? That's my question.
None of these people are even paying tier 3 subs so they can spam Tory Rob at that exact moment.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get going.
Anyway. I think would you guys, Jim, I feel like you'd be in with the vampires. Tom, Nick, Tom, John, sorry. You got not got any feelings about the vamps?
They're not big and naked, so I'm not into it.
That's fair.
Yeah. If they release what's the actor from Underworld that plays
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, if they have a Kate Beckinsale version of Gravelord vampire, I'm in. But otherwise, I'm out.
See, I'm really up for them.
I really enjoy that. I want Jim now in a Games Workshop store. Can I help you? Can I help you? And they're like, yeah, I'm looking for a vampire that looks like Kate Beckinsale. And they're like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have that. He's like, in which case I'm out. And he just leaves.
Literally fucking Dragon's Den or Shark Tank just coming in.
Kate Beckinsale again. Nothing.
I don't know what it is though. I loved fantasy as my favorite game, and the AOS range. I think you guys have talked about it. The storyline in AOS and the models destroy 40K. Destroy it. The way the storyline changes, and there's so much cool stuff happening. 40K is okay, we're gonna fight over this planet. We need a name for it. It's a Forge World. Oh, let's call it Metallica. Okay, cool. And then let's retcon half our background, and then let's 3 times. The 40K background is just so boring compared to AOS, and the model range, not just in the factions, but the design space that they're able to have with AOS is so amazing. But there's just something about it, and every time a new release comes out for AOS, I'm like, this is it. This is the one. I'm gonna play AOS, and it comes out, and I'm like, there's something there. I don't know. Maybe it's the double turn. Maybe I had one bad double turn when I was playing a no points AOS game 6 years back when it released, and
you didn't know what to do from that point on.
I just still have PTSD from that. So
I think I can hit on a reason as to why here. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Ace Ventura 3 is being released. Yeah. Now,
what a tangent.
This is. I think I can make a point here, right? Ace Ventura 3. I loved Ace Ventura 1 and 2. Loved. Cried, laughed at so many bits. When he comes out of the rhino, cry, laughed. When he gets spears in the legs, cry, laughed. Like when he does the Bumholio chat. If you've never seen Ace Ventura,
does that offer coaching? Is that a coaching service?
Only if you want to be a pet detective.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's super good. However, when I heard about Ace Ventura 3, I was like, I will watch that. I will watch that because I liked Ace Ventura 1 and 2. Like, so which is how I feel like the Sisters of Battle are, right? They're like, I like Sisters of Battle, and then they put new Sisters of Battle, and they're like, yeah, Sisters of Battle. Like, they're almost like they're having to do their repeats. They've got to just keep churning out. They're like, here's some more Marines. Like, whereas Age of Sigmar, they're just doing what they want, right?
It's a new game, right?
Yeah, it's a new game, new world. They could just be like, cool, we're just going to go here, we're going to do that.
They did do that by fucking off half a bunch of factions, though, and upsetting a bunch of people, and that's why they
did do that, and that is a terrible thing that they did, and also they're terrible people. But not all of them, no.
But now that they've done that, they can do this. They've got more room to do stuff, right? So there's an upside to why they did that, and obviously it fucked off a lot of people, and a lot of people's collections are completely boned. No pun intended. But it means that you now have room to make more new cool stuff. Whereas in 40k, you just got to keep reworking.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the difference, right? I was trying to think of a modern film so we've got Ace Ventura as our 40k setting, and then I don't know what. I mean, they're just the Fast and the Furious franchise, 40k at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I make? I just gotta go back for a sec about Ace Ventura though.
Okay, sure.
So I grew up in the 90s. Like I'm 36, so like that was like the era. I remember that coming out in theater and thinking this is the funniest movie. And I grew up in the day of like Happy Gilmore, like Adam Sandler. Like those are the movies where I look back, I'm like Billy Madison. Like these are the like like Van Wilder, like things with like just awful raunchy kind of like and I was showing I was watching I think I think it was like Van Wilder. It was like one of those like 90s like kind of like slapstick movies with someone with like someone that was born in like 2001, where a year I remember. Mm-hmm. And I was like dying of laughter, and they were like, what is this? Like how did people ever find this funny? And I'm like, I don't know. There's like I still think it's hilarious, but like I don't know, like young people are like, this is not funny at all. Like I'm like, you're so I'm like, what are you talking about? It's hilarious. And like no, it's like if you showed us someone that was 18 years old Ace Ventura today, they'd be like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. But when it came out, it was like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Like
I'll go watch it and review it for you then. Yeah. Come on,
I want that.
So I'm still 16, so I don't know.
Also, Jim, just thank you for bringing up. Thank you for bringing up probably a film I based my entire life on. I didn't just think Van Wilder was a film. I thought it was like a guide to life. I was like, of course I want to be Van Wilder.
And it's just like the comedy is just so, you're like, so raunchy and like over the top, and you're just like, how did people find this funny? But you're like, I still find it funny. I'm like an old man.
It's true. Like I still, for some reason, think Stifler is funny, and Stifler.
I love Stifler.
And Stifler is nothing but a problematic. But like, you couldn't do Stifler anymore. Like he's problematic in so many ways.
Yeah.
Who's Stifler?
He's from American Pie.
American Pie is a coming of age college movie. Tom,
I know what American Pie is. I just haven't seen it.
About a young man who makes love to a pie.
I've seen that bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually think like that whole trope of like Stifler's mom created the whole like weird era of people like into that kind of stuff as like fetishing that stuff. Like I feel like that was like the first salvo in a campaign of like people having like and I remember there's like music videos like Stacy's mom came out around the same time. And it was like as a young impressionable boy, I was like, oh, moms are really hot. Yeah. like it made bombs hot for the first time, you know. Anyways, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but anyways,
that's the most amazing
that's
point.
TMI.
I'm going to put a marker on the stream for that. So I put a marker on the stream for that. For we come back for that for a clip. That's definitely a clip. Thank you to Leadfoot for donating 100 bits. I don't know how to drag that back to Warhammer. Like, I'm trying super hard, but I don't know.
I don't know why you started with Base Ventura, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, you started this.
Because I was making the analogy between... I was talking about... Go on, John, explain it. You know what I was saying.
They've almost because the narrative's so deep and things are so established, like the Eldar are a dying race with all this established stuff. The Imperium's got this very fixed bunch of old broken stuff that they have to just keep repairing and praying for. They kind of paint it into a corner, whilst Age of Sigmar, they go, right, we're going to use some trolls. Let's make them really cave-based, and let's add this one extra fun element to it. And then they go absolutely mad on the kind of the design aesthetic because they're not stuck going, it's got to look like this crusty old broken robot thing again, covered in purity seals. They've got that freedom. I
don't know. I think they get like. I want to give the design guys like some credit. I think that they're trying super hard. And I think like. I mean, some of the design cues, like some of the things I expect in the next couple of years. I expect a brand new Astra Militarum range. I think that's I also expect, and get ready for this. This is a Rob prediction. I'm going to mark this right now. I also expect at least a new or returned race. So either we get something like Zotes or Squats or something that was already...
Squats are coming.
Or we get a brand new range. Either of those, I feel like next couple of years, that's what we're getting. They're gonna, because I think that they also... They get that the universe needs expanding to some degree. That's why I quite like that Russell Ruin book. I like that Metallica has got more lore and more stuff in there. I think that's cool. I like that Typhus has got this whole legion of Poxwalkers he can take, and
sets the tone that if they take over Metallica and make it a plague corrupted Forge World, that then sets up from Dark Mechanicus.
Yeah.
So do the Mechanicum, and that's something that they've been teasing.
Dark Mechanicum is something people have been chomping at the bit at forever,
or
Chaos
Trader
Mechanicum.
Guard.
Say that, Jim.
Trader Guard, because they have quite a bit in Blackstone, between the Commissar. The one thing I will say though to you, John, is they did do that with 8th edition launch. They had the whole
the Primaris complete does it,
that was the biggest lore change we've had since third edition. We were still doing the 13th Black Crusade at 40k.
Yeah.
And then finally in 8th edition they finished after trying once, retconning it, and then they tried it again in 8th edition. And the thing is, for that first little bit, I remember reading a few of the novels, and they did actually have, and they're like, oh, we've moved the timeline 200 years forward. And since 8th edition, has the galaxy map changed at all? Has anyone heard from the Blood Angels that are currently on the other side? Has there been any movement outside of one planet in a galaxy in Vigilus where it ended with 0 really happening? And then obviously now we're having the whole Pariah thing, the whole Pariah Nexus. What did it really result in? Nothing. So there's been opportunities, and they've just started. It's they just it wouldn't it be cool if the Imperium broke through a big chunk of the wall, the Great Wall of Chaos in the galaxy. There's things that they could do or introduce that wouldn't necessarily cause the larger setting to change, but actually feels like there's pieces moving around on the board, just like they're doing on AOS, right? All the main players are still in charge in AOS, but we're seeing the return of it feels like Marathi obviously changed, but she's still the same, and Slaanesh went away and came back, and it feels like stuff actually has happened in the last 3 years. Whereas with 40k, it's you could take the background right now and at the start of 8th edition and almost identical.
Feels the same,
And tell me what's changed between the start of 8th, except them actually retconning.
Ragnar and Gaskell both died and then came back again.
I was going to say characters just die and then come back. And Cypher disappeared and never came back, and a few Primarchs are lying asleep but haven't come back. It's all very kind of
actually
paused.
Let me ask you a question about this though. Big shout out Retta Santi. Thank you everyone for joining us live, by the way. Massive appreciation. The reveal will be happening in but minutes, and we will be live reacting to it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, because I think this is actually really important. 40k, because it's their big brand, I feel like that it is it takes a few years for someone who's new. So like their bunch of new audience, their new audience have moved in, and they're like they've got a whole bunch of new people buying stuff and being new, which is awesome. And then they're in there and they're like, hey, I've just discovered about Tau. Did you know they're kind of like space communists? You're like, well, like actually, like if we go back a few years, like there are new people who are still discovering how complicated the 40k universe is, like how much depth there is. And I feel like moving the timeline along to a degree might be a bit confusing for those people. Whereas people like yourselves, who've been into it for a very, very long time, you're like, I want some natural progression. When really, I think all they're really ever doing is resetting the stage for new people when they arrive.
So can I just give you guys a quick update on the stream?
Yeah.
I've just turned into Warhammer TV stream, and Born Again Manchild and Gabawaki are already in here spamming 500-point Stomper emotes. Like, we haven't said anything. But
I would like to actively encourage you to not do that, please. It's mainly for our channel that we. So, like, just to be clear to everyone listening at home, and mainly the Twitch employee who's reviewing this, I would like to encourage us all to use it on our channel.
Not harass us.
If you are using it on another channel, that's your choice. That's the important point.
I didn't get a chance to say congratulations on partner, Rob, and also. And now you have to, with great power comes great responsibility. So you got to have the disclaimer now. You're gonna have all these like janky emotes to wink wink nudge nudge, guys. Don't go spamming them in the GW chat. Don't go spamming them.
I would not engage in such toxic behaviour as to spam the chat with emotes, by the way.
Yeah, and that fub emote just says fub. That's all that means. That's all that means. There's nothing nefarious about that. It's fine.
Thank you to Boise for resubscribing. Really appreciate that, and all of you guys. And also, I think someone resubscribed. Ivory OP. Thank you very much, Ivory OP.
Anyway, it doesn't agree with that. All these people dropping these primes on this multinational corporation when Rob needs feeding. It's disgusting. Everyone should all drop their primes here. Yeah. I
think I don't want to like toot our own horn, but I think we're the first. Oh no, I don't think that's true. I think Frontline Gaming have made a partner. I think they're partner on Twitch. I think I'm not certain that's true, but I think they are. But like I think like we are like one of the first like Warhammer independent shows. But like mainly, I mean gaming focused shows to make partner. So that's super exciting.
I was gonna say the Frontline stream is funny because like I feel like they probably like put so much production value into it to get partner, and now it's like Reese in like a weird garage like filming, and it's like whoever approved partner, if they like went back and looked at the channel, they'd be like, how did these guys get partner? It's like some like mustache dude in his garage, like because they've been just like moving and had so many tech problems lately. It's just kind of devolved into this like basement stream basically. It's hilarious.
It's really cute. I'm hoping they do okay. I really am. Because they moved recently, so they made this big decision to move and get into this new thing, and then like obviously they then got done over by the fact that COVID happened. So that's a bit of a shame.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, I feel for them.
They're good dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, the preview. Oh, let's go. Oh, thank you to Lekka for resubscribing. Big love to you. Oh, wait, hold on. What? Caesar. Hold on. Caesar.
He's going to do it properly.
I can't read that.
Earl of Grey Tea. Caesar Earl of Grey Tea.
Caesar Earl of Grey Tea. Thank you for gifting 7 gift subscriptions to the chat. That's incredible. That's so nice.
Also, I've never seen. Well, there you go.
I've never seen you in the chat, so that's so lovely of you. Thanks so much. And you also managed to give as a gift subscription to both Nathan and the Art of War 40k Down Under at the same time.
Damn it, Diffie got one.
Oh no, not Diffie.
Thank you
I'm
so
really
much.
curious. I'm really curious what games. Like I assume they have quite a few subscribers for Warhammer TV.
Yeah.
Like they must make a decent amount of revenue from the channel because they have.
So when I was there,
followers.
So when I was there, we had because I set it up right. So like we like pretty much on like week 1, it was like 3,500 subscribers, which is really really good like in that term. But obviously it's a huge channel, and it should be a huge channel.
Subscribers, not followers, right?
Yeah, subscribers, like, which is different to followers.
You did lock away the VODs, to be fair.
Yeah,
which wasn't my suggestion. I said it should all be free.
I agree.
I said it should all be free.
I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying you as a collective of the channel.
However, like, it was good money because I was like, that's great money. You could use this to up the production value of Twitch. I was like, so there's only 2 of us right now, just 2 of us. We're working 70-hour weeks. Let's get more employees in. And they were like, let's not. And I was like, but we're generating thousands of pounds a month. We could hire new people. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay.
Or we could not do 70 hours a month.
Well, I think that was the point I was going to make. I was like, it seems like they're slowly upgrading. Like, I think Eddie Eccles has, like, headphones finally.
Holy shit.
Hold on, we're going to go live to the... Here we go.
Well, his personal headphones, though. Oh, here we go.
But, like, it just feels like... I'm like, guys, like, throw a few $100 or whatever they call it in UK into, like, some tech for you guys, just to make it slightly better.
So are we doing the crowdfund for the green screen? Is the first question. I know we suggested it last time, but I feel like this is something we need to do, right?
Well, first of all, I think I just saw Eddie's camera wobble, which means I think he's using a laptop webcam.
No, listen. Let's talk about framing. This is really important. Jim, you've just started doing a lot of streaming. They've had some questionable framing of their cameras before, but like I think they've nailed it this time. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually was super self-conscious of it because I watched you ripping them apart about their framing, and so I was like, "Oh God, if I'm gonna do streaming, I better make sure my face is like." So I was like, "Okay, be perfectly."
So long as you show the willingness to improve it, Jim, it's all right.
That's all you got to do.
I've been getting away with this shit for years.
I think they're doing really well. Adam's box set pile, very much like. Has anyone else got a similar box set pile? And also,
mate, yeah.
Is that a Malm? Is he rocking a Malm?
Those are They're Billy bookcases with doors and internal lighting. But that's all IKEA. That's all IKEA.
Okay.
And the corner piece. That's a
is
small
that
Billy
Adam's
bookcase.
or yours, John?
That's Adam's. I'm looking at Adam's on my other screen, just going. I see exactly what he's done. But he has gone with the light color, which is actually cheaper.
Eddie's big into orcs. I tell you what, Eddie fucks. I've said this before and I'll say it again.
Yeah, but he plays Crusade.
He plays everything. The guy loves Warhammer, man. Like, drips it.
All right, is he the exception but proves the rule that Crusade players do not fuck?
Eddie can do what he wants. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this. Right, and I'll go to Matt. I'll go to the Matt on that one. He's fine. Like, he's brill. Like, all day. Like, he's like the Malkador of Games Workshop. This is the important part.
Oh, shit.
Like, he is consistently pulling strings and pushing people, and they don't know. They're always like, "Hey, Eddie, we should do this thing," and he's like, "Do you think we should, though?"
so he's a gripper.
Yeah. Unless Adam's actually a green screen, and behind him is really a load of mad dick shit. That's super clever. Yeah. Can't wait to see us. I'll die for his right to IKEA. Yeah, 100%. Eddie is a gem. That's right. There we go. And I enjoyed my time with Eddie at Games Workshop a lot, so I'm big him up all day. This preview bit, though, I hate, where it's the preamble is always really boring, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
In the chat, guys.
Huh?
I don't know if you feel like this bit is.
They just ask.
Do you feel like this bit is just to wait for people to get in? Because I feel like that should be what the preview live soon screen was for. Imagine if they just came in with a bang and they hit you with a new book, and here's a cool model, like straight away, animation straight in. Don't show us any ads. Smash.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't have a think about the first time you saw the Dawn of War trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, you wet your pants. But I actually agree with Rob. I think they definitely should be doing more interviews with like the designers. I remember the first interview they did with Jess Goodwin, where he was describing how the reason there's so many skulls on everything is because it's the face of the Emperor. And it literally blew my mind, and because that's what the Emperor looks like. He looks like a skull, and I was like, "Whoa!" And so and that adds so much coolness to 40K to me. But like, I had to read that, listen in that like some obscure Voxcast episode that like no one ever heard of, right? And like I still tell, you know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. The last time we interviewed a game designer, they accidentally leaked 9th, and the time before that, they said they were getting rid of formations. So. I don't know, Chief.
Army of Renown.
Perfect. What are you talking about? That's
it's an Army of Renown. It's not formation.
Tom's like the Ronan Farrow of 40K breaking news.
I don't know who that is either.
Investigative reporter.
Is that an Alberta specific person? I don't know where.
No, he's like
BC. You live in BC, don't you? Yeah. No. Alberta's the next one along that everyone
Let's
hates.
probably not bring up what Ronan Farrow has unveiled, though, Jim, because we managed to just quietly avoid fascists earlier.
I don't want to departner you within the first 72 hours.
The Announce More Books gang. That's what we're in. This is my favourite bit. All right, so Twitch chat and also John, Tom, Jim. This is your chance. This is a straw poll. This is our sweepstakes for the day. How many books are going to be announced today? How many books we haven't yet seen? I'll give you a moment.
Like codexes, army books.
Does that include like
all books? All books. It includes anything that's a book. Anything that's a book.
2. Oh, Scrivo, come on.
John,
2.
John, did you just say 4?
Yeah, 4. Because we're going to have Techless, Knights.
No, that's been announced. Techless has been announced.
Yeah, but they're going to give us a
We're
date.
not having that. Yeah, but they've already revealed it. That doesn't count, Scrivo. You can't have that.
No, you can't
Cheap
have that.
bastard. No.
I think we get the next 4 40k codexes and 1 AOS tome.
I think
that's not
sense.
the broken. So like whatever the next AOS army book is, that's not the Broken Realms. And then the next 4 40k codexes, I think. So 5 is my.
I don't think we get 2. I don't think we get an AOS book. I think they announced 4 40k books, but 2 of them are hidden like we did last time. So they had like 2 books where they named them, 2 mystery books.
Is that a valid answer though? Because then is it only?
They haven't announced them if it's a mystery, have they?
Yeah.
And we're going to have
that's
Is
not
the
announced.
answer 2 or is the answer 4?
And we're going to have a
It's
Necromunda.
2.
We're going to have the
There's
Necromunda book as
2
well.
that have been announced. Necromunda isn't a game. We don't count that.
It's a story. I'm going to go 7. I'm going all the way.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm like, what else have they got? I'm just like, let's go all in. 7 books is what I'm feeling they're going to release. Black Library counts? Doesn't count? Who knows?
No.
They would have put something up to suggest there's Black Library because it's only Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, 40k, and Underworlds today.
Okay, can we specifically define this as army codexes and army books that we know exactly what they are and they tell us exactly.
However, Necromunda counts, man. Necromunda counts.
I think we get Gravelords for AOS, Admech, Sisters, Knights.
And one of these things.
Maybe, actually, I think Sisters could actually be like a splash release where it's just in the supplement, kind of like they did with the last Admech. I don't think they're going to rewrite the Sisters book, considering it was quote-unquote Knights. So I think we get Admech, Orcs, maybe Knights, and one other mystery.
Ooh. I like I like that over time these stream reacts that we've done like for the past year almost have just now been devolved into how many books are we going to see?
Jim, seriously though, when do you think we're getting demons? Because we haven't had a Chaos book all edition apart from Death Guard.
I'm so hyped for demons.
And demons was one of the first books, and it has 2 pages of stratagems.
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping there's an AOS. Go on, Jim. Sorry.
I was going to say I just don't want it because the sooner it comes out, the sooner I'll be disappointed. So I prefer to just hope that, like, the hope that a good book could be coming is a lot better feeling than the realization that the book is here and it sucks.
I would really, really like to see a Demons book for both Age of Sigmar and 40k because I think that's got loads. You could do so much with that. It would be such a fun army to build, paint, put together. And the fact that you can run it cross system. Like, it would be awesome if Be'lakor slaps in both systems, right? Yeah. And then you could just be like, cool, I've got this one model and I can play 2 games. I think it's super good. Good value for money for people to get into.
I definitely think the next book is Knights, though. The next book is definitely Knights, because you've just had the campaign book, which had Vakari and Death Guard in it, who just happens to be the last 2 books. And then you've got Knights in there as well. That would make sense. Plus, you just had Chaos Xenos, and then you can go Imperial. That would make sense, too.
It's like a 3-to-1 Imperium to non-Imperium release schedule, so...
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like Chaos
that's
Xenos.
the level of faction, haven't they got?
Yeah, it's a
lot more Imperium.
I think that's why... Go on, sorry, Jim.
I was just going to say, in the Be'lakor tease, they did mention that like the rules would be upcoming in a future 40k Codex supplement. And I was like, do they mean Codex supplement as in Codexes are supplements? Or a Codex supplement as in like a Warzone book that has his rules in it? Because Codexes are technically supplements to 40k.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but they brand all of the Space Marine ones that are all part of the Space Marine book are all referred to as supplements.
Yeah, supplements of supplements, mate.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Oh, Grinaldi, thank you for resubscribing. Big love to you. Let's go. Super lovely, thanks. 3-to-1 Imperial. I think that's why there's a really good argument that we're going to end up with different... we'll end up with more Xenos and different factions over the course of the next few years, I would say. So, if you just added Dark Admech, Dark, Traitor Guard, and then also like squats. Let's say like you end up with like 3 non-Imperium stuff like straight out of the bat, like which is great. Like it's good. Like changing those numbers around. I think it's a good time for the game system personally. Hey Mini Wars, what's going on? And then hey to Old Mantis, thank you for resubscribing. They're taking or not resubscribing, subscribing for the first time. Let's go. Use all your new emotes.
So I think a reason why we might see Sisters, although they said it's kind of a current book, it's got none of the kind of mechanics like core in it. So if they're going to do a load of new models, it makes sense to refresh that element to it as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters are like, we don't want a new book. Our book's really good. Leave us alone.
I know, but that's also why they probably need it, because it would help rein them in a bit.
We'll need a new book in 6 months.
Well, I don't know. The Dark Eldar, everything I've seen from Dark Eldar this morning, I don't know why I was up at 4:30 looking at Dark Eldar rules, but they seem like they're up there.
They're pretty solid.
And yet,
the change to Vect is good. Yeah. I like the change to Vect.
Yeah, I love that.
I think
there's a lot of spiteful rules in it. There's lots of like, I'm going down, I'm going to do mortal wounds as I go down. Ha! And I love that.
Was Death Guard the last book out?
Yes.
Or Dark Angels? I don't know.
Dark Angels.
The Death Guard book, the more I like, obviously Dark Angels we've had, and now we have Dark Eldar. The more is released, the more I get disappointed in it. Like,
I like it.
There's power in it, but like, it just feels so restrictive in a lot of ways compared to the variety and ability, like the sheer amount of ways you can build lists in Dark Angels and Dark Eldar. Mm-hmm. And you look at Death Guard and it's like so restrictive, like Poxwalker limits, Keltis limits, just Plague Company limits. Like it's just, it feels like
one build you go towards pretty much.
But I feel like that's actually really, really nice. It feels like you can get into Death Guard, you can play it super well, you get that kind of like Terminator build or whatever it might be. And I do think there is 2 builds. There's like a Morty build and a non-Morty build.
Yeah, the Morty build's
kind
a
of
lot
the
more
play
shit.
style.
Yeah,
and then you're done. And if you wanted to like have a really huge faction, like Space Marines as an example, where you've got all these varieties of way to play it, but I think like you can kind of like you can pick it up. It's like it's quite toned down. It reminds me of like the KO book or the Daughters of Cain book, where like you don't have loads and loads of options, and then that's nice. Everything's pretty viable, which is cool. Like pretty much everything, like Mephitic Blight Hall and Special Hearts. Everything's good. You can pick it up, and then you've got an army. You run it a bunch, and then you could just go and sideline to another small, like you could be like a Harlequins and a Death Guard player, and you've got 2 small forces or 2 kind of like not very wide books, let's say. But you can play them both really well and a lot, and they play very differently to each other, which I would prefer more books that are more insular and more like bosh, because I think like. When you have the amount of, like, Space Marines, it's too many options. It's just too many options for me. I don't want to be involved.
Like, can you explain something to me, Rob? I know it's a massive tangent, but I need to know this. Why do they have this 15 minutes where they just pad while people come in? Because if you just hit us with a big release immediately, people wouldn't need to filter in. People would just turn up, bang, sick release.
Why are they doing what they do now?
Yeah.
Because
I don't get it.
They've never hired a media professional, including me. Ever.
That is true. You were not a media professional when you did
so they're just a group of guys trying their hardest. Like so they think that they've done this once and it didn't break, so they're sticking with it as a plan.
Yeah.
The Games Workshop philosophy through and through.
Did you see what happened with Piety and Pain, by the way?
No, what was it?
So Scrivo, how many Piety and Pains have you got?
I've got 2.
Well, personally or for the store?
Both. Well, I'm splitting them with people. I'm being helpful. I'm splitting
This is the
them
thing.
with
So
people.
Element Games got only 20 copies to the point where they're not selling them online because they're just saving them for the store.
Brutal.
Because they get so cute.
And that is nowhere near their normal numbers.
Yeah.
Can I just thank Crater and She Who Thirsts for resubscribing? Appreciate that. In his point about also army books, it would make it unadaptive long term, though. I agree and I understand that, but it also means that like you don't have that situation where a whole book, like with, as I understand it, with Tyranids, if Dimachorons weren't what they were, here we go. Here we go. Hey! Let's go Age of Sigmar.
Let's go
my god,
batshit
yes.
for this.
Yes. Vampire Lord.
Hey, look, so it's panning shots of models you love, Rob.
Yeah, but I love skeletons, so I'm alright with it.
Oh, zombie with roots sticking through it.
Zombies?
Yes. Yes. Fellbats.
Oh my god, those are
There's a nice Spellbreak on Manchester Airport, though.
You've seen him. The Rat Prince.
The Rat King.
Yeah. The zombies look cool. We see this guy.
These.
The zombies look way better than the
Skeleton Warriors look
ones.
amazing.
Blood Knights!
You're a couple of seconds above me, Scrivo, so you just ruined that. Not what I care. Okay.
Spoilers, man. Come on.
Yeah, spoiling the reveal.
Oh, what's this?
I've been waiting
a
for
spinny model. Oh no.
Ah, yes, spinny model. Yeah,
Where's
there's no
the
skeletons on.
With only one light on.
Oh, it's that weird, but I can't actually see that very well. I'm going to be honest. I can't see that either.
It's because they're attempting to do moody lighting on purpose. Like it's meant to be, but like it's badly done. Or they hide.
I mean, you can still see the mirror. Like...
Are we gonna get a book? Come on, give me the book announcement. Ah.
No book for Jim. Yes.
No book. Zero books.
On the iOS books. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna hamper Jim.
What they normally do is they now cut to a still image of a book and talk over it. There you go. It's going to happen in exactly 5 seconds.
There we go! Jim gets a book! That's one for Jim.
I love that I predicted that exact... That's the same shot they do each time. They show a book like that as a still image every time.
Thank you, J. James, for resubscribing.
Thank you, John, for giving me hope.
Book emote when? Yeah, John, we need a book emote. Write that down. Let's get ourselves a book emote.
I just started gloating. Oh, shit.
Right, I'll add it to the list, Rob.
Thanks. One so far, book watch.
Do you think the Blood Knights will be like $200 for 5, like their last ones?
Maybe.
Oh, there are 5s, though. I was expecting 3s.
So what do we think of them in detail? They're fine, I'm going to say. I don't think the paint job does them much service.
Oh, what are you saying? That red pops, brother.
I like the dark red on the horses. I don't like the bright red.
I almost want them to be shiny, like shimmering, like blood-looking red type of thing, almost.
I'm okay with them being medium for me, like that. But that's me. That's me. Like, and I think it's the paint job. I don't think it's necessarily the sculpt. They're not quite as heraldic as I would maybe like to have seen them. Is what I'm trying to get at. I think. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't quite have like.
The headgear's a bit weird. So this is that on the
welcome to the game
silhouettes
system,
we saw. This is the left-hand preview image. It's one of them.
Yeah. What do we think, Twitch chat? How you feeling? The horses look cool, at least. They look a bit too much like the old ones. This is yet another thing I'd buy if I had the money, which I say every release at the moment says Goose.
Well, one thing I do like, and they did this with the new Chaos Knights, is they've really fattened up lances. Like, so the old lances used to just be basically, they look like spears, but both these and the new Chaos Knights, the lances have like that taper, that really thick, like just they look like real lances, and I love that aesthetic of like that really thick. We were near the hand, and that tapers out into the point. I think that looks great.
I mean, the banner's nice.
I don't like the helmets. They look too much like superheroes. Like
they
like
do.
That one on the bottom right.
Hawkeye.
If you squint, they look like Drakari.
These guys. It's all about the skeleton warriors, right? These guys look amazing.
I really like the armor they've done as well.
Is that a hammer and sickle on the banner?
You can tell it's from North America, can't you? Because
they have the Rus guys from the Cursed City. So I'm like, what's going on here?
It's a moon with a sword, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They look so good, like so good. I love the rounded shields. The rounded shields is like a really nice vibe. I love the mace. These are amazing. Like, I am super into these. I think these look really, really good. Like, do you think that they'd be quite hard to paint for like a regular flub like me? Maybe.
Nah. They'll be alright.
Do you think these replace because the regular Skeleton Warrior kit is still gorgeous? I think it's great. So do you think these are on top of, or do you think they replace?
Replace. These replace.
Oh,
I imagine there's also.
I really like it.
I imagine there's going to be a heavy infantry version of this as well, which we aren't seeing yet. Like, so there'll be this. These will be your like troops, like your core, and then there's definitely going to be like a Graveguard version, right? Like a big, like your heavy, like elite infantry unit. I would say, like, I have no information about that.
So
but that's
these
my
swords
vibe.
or spears, is that what you think they're going to be? Because that looks like a champion and a banner, and then a spear or a sword.
AOS, it doesn't matter.
It's
well,
true.
it does. It's one or the other, isn't it? Normally,
but you can just mix and match. Like you just say, "I've got."
Or like the Carriage and Overlords were like, here you get 1 in 4 as this gun, and it's like, oh god.
They look really nice, man. Like I am really into those. I think that I much prefer those to the Blood Knights, like all day.
Yes.
I'm glad they don't all have gravestones on the zombies as well.
And
they still have some though.
Some though.
Oh, I'm not
it's
sure.
Funny. every AOS release, I'm like, how do I use this for 40k?
And we said this yesterday, Rob. There is 4 chick zombies, so they've got some actual diversity there.
Yeah, but no orc zombies, which is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Where's my dwarf zombie?
Great.
I don't like
That's
the.
cool.
Yeah, I don't like the gravestone thing on top.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
I hope it's removable. And also, I don't like zombies with weapons. I always thought zombies, the whole thing of zombies is like they're just like grabbing you and eating you. So the fact that they have like axes and stuff, I don't love.
That's a good point. Like a sword and a scythe. I don't think so.
I don't mind 1 or 2, but like the shovel's cool because that's like very farmer-like. But
yeah, because they're peasants, basically, aren't they?
The female zombie on the bottom right, that I think is my favorite one.
That's
just
really
her
cool,
pose
isn't it?
is just so like, I don't know. It's very zombie-like.
Yeah, that's good with the twisted foot. Yeah, that's really really nice.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's so cool.
That's cool.
And I like the colors here too. They're more. This is the fantasy vibe that I miss because everything AOS is so fantastical. So I love this like old school fantasy vibe.
I think the paint schemes are a really nice. Like if you show Lumineth versus these, I think the paint schemes just themselves. Like you could show someone. I mean, obviously the models will tell you as well, but the paint schemes will 100% be like, okay, I can kind of understand stuff. The fact that they're from the same game and the same universe, and I think that the paints they do a really good job in some situations. I would say. These Felbats are great, but can we talk about this? Does anyone care about bats? I get it, but
they're cool.
Maybe this is like a Zoomer thing we don't know. Everyone who grew up on Twilight, they're like, look, here's some bat guys. You know, you guys are into this. This is your thing. But I'm not vibing on. I don't think I ever vibed on these.
I've never been a fan to this day still of models that they show that are flying and then they have attachments. I guess I'd much rather them be sitting on a rock like the one on the left than weird attachments to a stick coming out of its butt, basically the middle one. So
yeah, it just looks.
I don't know.
I just need to do that to show us that they can fly, right?
Yeah, I'd much rather I know people would hate me. I'd much rather the return of flying stands.
Wow.
And also, it affects your basing because if your basing doesn't have trees or any, it's not a place that there would be trees, you're suddenly forced to have 2 damaged trees on your bases.
And in 40k, and in 40k, people in the WTC pack, I think you can ignore if you draw line of sight to the basing stuff. You can't see the model. Drazar is on that big base, but that's not counted for whether you can see the model, which is totally bizarre. It's anyways.
I'm with intern Matt in the chat when he was like, oh man, that's some great artwork though.
Oh wow, that's shot. That's how I wanted the armor to look on those paint jobs.
Hey, have we seen the dragon in the background?
Kill it, by the way.
Zombie dragon.
New zombie dragon kit with a big vampire on. Can we talk about the werewolf or new direwolf that we're seeing there as well potentially? Yeah.
So those skeletons we've just seen, they're the Grave God replacement. Are we going to get normal skeletons? They're Grave God.
What, did they say they were Grave? No. I said I think that these are the regular skeleton warriors, and that there will be another version. There'll be a heavier Grave Guard variant.
So do the Grave Guard, because they've got big shields. They're bigger shields, aren't they? They were before.
Yeah.
But the current Grave Guard kit is still pretty good, right?
Yeah, they're all right.
Really nice.
They're a bit cartoony. There's that kind of. It's the inevitable thing with skeletons. They end up looking a bit. They can be a bit silly looking.
Yeah, the art for this is stunning. Oh. This is going to be an army that I go all the way in on. I think, because it's just beautiful, and you could spend a long time painting up the vampire characters, and you could do a bunch of kit bashes. I think as well. Go on, Eddie. You have a cup of tea, babe. Crack on.
The question is, who was the artist of that piece? Because they never do that. They never tell us who the artist.
That is sad. That is really,
makes me
sad.
That was the thing I loved in White Dwarf.
I was looking at the Deathwatch Codex yesterday while I was reading it, and I looked at the art, and I realised actually the art is really good. And no one ever talks about it.
That's great.
You've got a Space Wolf there, you've got a Dark Angel there, you've got all this kind of cool stuff, and no one ever talks about.
I would happily talk about. I would say that the codexes, the battle tomes, all Warhammer production stuff has lived off those artists producing that art. When you flick through a book, it's so evocative. You flick through a book and you're like, It's so good. Like, it's probably the thing that they do best and have done best for a long time, is they put really good art. I would actually say, I don't know if you got, this is a little quick throwback. When they put Age of Sigmar 1, so then when they redid Age of Sigmar, they farmed out to a load of external artists. So if any of you ever have the Realm Gate books, or the Realm War books, the initial ones, you'll see the art style in the book is very, very different. Like, it all looks different to each other, and it's super weird. So if you search for any of those images back in the past, whereas they scrapped that idea and they just put everything in-house again, and they gave a very specific art direction, and then I feel that lifted up the whole kind of kit massively. Oh, here we go.
iOS.
Here we go again. Is it another book?
Oh, it's a story. What's the story?
Oh, is that...
It's a desert city. Oh, it's a centaur just for Rob.
Oh,
I bet.
Female centaurs?
Female centaurs?
Another game.
Nah, that looks like a dude. Who's Kragnos?
Kragnos.
Broken Realms Kragnos.
Is that book number 2?
That's 2.
That's book number... Yeah. Oh, we're getting a Broken
But
Realms
they didn't
book.
show the book, right?
That's
number
not a
4
book.
then.
They haven't shown the book.
Still slide a second.
That's okay. So a new Broken Realms book. Let's all Google the word Kragnos immediately, so if he's come up. But he looks like a Kurnoth. He looks like a Kurnoth. Yeah.
The top half of him looked a bit like Orion of the old Wood Elves kind of range, kind of Alariel's other half type of
so
thing, right?
Kragnos is a character from the World of Warcraft. And
Stealing it back! We're stealing it back!
The crossover you never knew you wanted.
that is it. Oh no, sorry, that's Kragnos, Mythic Key Dungeons. I'm afraid there doesn't seem to be...
They just said he's a new character on the stream.
Oh, have they? A new character?
Yeah. So that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's really exciting. WoW crossover confirmed. So yeah, I think that looks like it's going to be a destruction character, not like an order character.
Like
I would say.
Not a centaur, Centaur.
Centaur, not centaur.
Yeah.
Okay, so chaos. Or no, wait, chaos, destruction. I feel destruction, not chaos.
Beasts of Chaos is Centaurs, I think.
I still feel it's destruction. I don't know why.
Okay, there's another bet we can have. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah. I think it's destruction.
The chaos one for Broken Realms as well.
Bellicor is Chaos.
Yeah.
Bellicor's chaos.
Yeah.
Kragnos is, I think it's destruction, but I could be wrong. It might be chaos. And then we're now in this weird place. We have a roadmap for Age of Sigmar, which is woohoo, very exciting.
I'm not entirely sure how that fits with like Faith and Damnation, by the way.
Oh, you'll wait and see, my friend. Do you think though that the
and Damnation's the Redemptionists? That's all that means. That's only 2 out of the 4 sections.
Yeah, I know. That's half of it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think though of the like I thought when I first read about Broken Realms it was supposed to be like big named characters like Bellicor, Marathi. Marathi was the first one, right? Teclis, and now it's like
Cousin Dave.
It's like Kragku. Like I was hoping for like Malarion or like I don't know Gorka Morka, like someone cool, and I'm like Kragku.
Well, that's exciting because like off the back of like some major characters, Marathi, Teclis, Bellicor, it now gives us a level that this character knew that they is like that enters into at a level that we like. So it's moved into an area where we know okay, it's at the Bellicor, Marathi, Teclis level. That's a big level. Like so, like I'm excited to learn about him. At some point and work out what that is because that's pretty important because we don't have loads of like. Well, it depends if it's going to be Beast of Chaos. I mean, the Beast of Chaos boys are going to be like hype.
Just something.
Plastic
kit.
Thanks, Mishin, for subscribing. Big love to you. Appreciate that. Roadmap, but no FAQ.
Not enough data for an FAQ, guys.
I really like this. I want to know what everyone's votes are, please. On this particular issue because it feels like it's split in the chat and amongst the hosts. Do we think that this is a destruction, a chaos, or an order book? That's the real question.
I don't know. Really don't know.
Okay, let's see what the Twitch chat says. Oh, we got some new OC arcs on the screen. sent by Nagash, made of bone. Some cool new dudes.
Do they have an article up for this already? Because I might have a picture of that guy.
Order, Destro, Liberator Man, I'm with you.
They do have an article, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not got him yet. Because that would be the indicator. Seeing the armor and stuff would give it away to me, I think.
Well, they do the article so that the manager can hit his KPIs. This is what we're doing. We're all right now helping the manager hit his KPIs. That's the whole point of the show.
We lose nothing by helping the manager hit his KPIs. So.
No. In fact, we have a good time helping the manager hit his KPIs. Wow, man, I had to put these skeletons back to back with the last ones.
I can't remember what we just saw, by the way, and the video just finished.
So
I'm literally watching our stream back on.
There you go. They'll be back up on the screen in a second for you.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of the Warcry warbands and how you can basically just buy them and slot them in as cool models into like your AOS army. I wish they had something similar to 40k.
I was actually
40k kill team is just 40k models that are already available.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the nicest things about this is like that big boy in the middle looks amazing, and also like there's actually some pretty amazing stuff here. The fact that there is an Archer Mortec is a big deal because that doesn't currently exist. And the fact there's also another Mortec with a mace and a shield, and also like that's also a big deal because they also don't.
Two-handed sword as well.
Doesn't exist. 100% two-handed sword. So that might be a variety of new Mortec that we're seeing in the future.
Halberd, the other one's got as well.
Yeah, Halberd. Yeah, but I don't know if that's more like a character model.
He looks like a caster, perhaps.
Yeah,
he's got something funny in his hand, like a stone.
The Soul Reaper Greatbleed already exists. Thanks, Owen. Appreciate you. Is that the main character, like the general, the captain in the unit? Two-handed does exist. Thanks, Grimgar. Big love. Thank you, Tom Whitbrook. Appreciate all you. No book though. That's the sad news. No book in this situation. What do you guys think of this?
I would argue that they didn't technically announce the Krakaros book because we didn't see a book. We didn't physically see a silhouette of a book.
And this is Underworlds.
If that comes the tiebreaker, I'm going to take it in my direction.
Do cards count as books? I don't think cards count as books, no. They're really nice, though. The skin skirt, She Who Thirsts, when that got announced, actually, that's one of the things that's actually pretty unique, actually, in this setup. Not particularly for any reason other than that they're all made of bone all the time, and they don't do any
made of bone all the time.
Yeah. But the... thank you to our new subscriber, Shazam. Thank you very much for gifting...
That's a great name, too, by the way.
What, Shazam?
Yeah. I like the movie it's named after.
Great movie. Thanks for gifting a gift subscription attached to Joe Banner. So, I like this. I like all of these. I think they're beautiful. But, like, if you're playing OC Arcs, then I think you're going to get this anyway if you play OC Arcs, just for some cool sculpts. That's it. I think the only thing to really take away from this is the fact that the Archer is an indication that we might get an Archer Mortec unit at some point. Are we going to see wave 2 of the OC Arc Bone Reapers?
Potentially. Although we have had a lot of AOS stuff already. We haven't had anything for 40k.
And there's a bottleneck at the moment for releases. So if we are going to, it might not be too soon.
No, I like this. This is what I want. I actually only want them to announce stuff now and never release it. I don't want any of these things to come out as releases.
You want to exist in that purgatory where you're excited for it, but not disappointed quite yet.
It's exhausting, though.
Yeah. Oh, there is an article up now, John.
Yeah, it's not. It didn't have all of the bits, so I'm going to refresh it because I want to see that guy's armor because that would give us a clue, I think, of who he is.
Who?
The fact that we're trying to work out who this guy is and what to be excited for is kind of a point.
Kragos, or whatever his name was.
Katakros.
Krugonos.
Different names.
The reason I'm leaning Centaur is because the Centaur models have shields in one hand and spears, and in the picture you see him holding a round shield. And he's a centaur-ish.
So what did you go for? What did you vote for? Which faction?
I think I said like Beasts of Chaos, which I think need a full rewrite anyways.
Yeah.
Like kind of Beasts of Chaos. Sorry, I guess.
Okay.
Because Be'lakor I think is more demons maybe. So maybe this like we assume that there maybe be 4 Broken Realms books, but I think just given the fact that we're already on 4. They've already revealed 4, and I think there'll probably be a few more after this. So we're probably looking at 6 to 8 of these books.
I'm feeling Destruction is my vibe, but that's my vibe. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
I'll have to listen to the voiceover again and try to kind of tease what kind of voice it is.
Kanothi is the suggestion, because like you talked about earlier, Jim, and like we're looking at now, the Warcry underbands, we have seen like a Kanothi Warcry underpants. Yeah, we have seen some Kanothi underpants. Did I say underpants?
Underpants.
Was it on the female centaur, or?
Who knows?
Rob never models them on.
One of the things also being pointed out in the chat is that there is some unique leg armor on some of the models at the bottom. They're a little bit
they've got
chunkier.
graves. Yeah, they've got graves on their legs,
which we haven't seen previously as well. I think like the Mortek Guard are already pretty elite. It would be fascinating if they put like a more armored, chunkier, like elite infantry down. I don't think that we're going to see that, but we'll see. I feel like this is a design cue for some new additional Mortek stuff anyway. And so we'll see what that means. A definite Kanothi. Everyone thinks Kanothi. All right, this does bode well for more Centaur ladies. It does.
So, do the Bone Reapers have different chamber sub-faction equivalents outside of the Mortek? Could this be another one of those?
So they're always just they collect bone as the tithe, and then they just build whatever they want out of it. It's like they'll build Mortek crawlers, they'll build all sorts of stuff. They'll build the weird Gothzar harvester with the unfortunate fella who's the dick brain.
So they will just be Mortek and then a name. Yeah.
The guy in the top left is from the silhouette, right? So we're not expecting to see any more kind of Bone Reaper archers today, are we?
No.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just
here we
making
go.
sure. Well, back again. Oh, here's the trailer.
Redemptionists.
Oh,
there's your damnation.
They're really saving 40k for the end. That could be a good sign.
Oh, but it's forgetting about it.
Oh no, this is Underworlds, not Underworlds.
This is Necromunda. So these are the Redemptionists, which are kind of
so cool.
Imperium cultists, essentially. They are pretty bonkers.
They look great.
So characterful.
Hey, no KKK cows. It seems like they're
they've avoided
their
that
last release.
So the main leader guy with the fiery headpiece is a throwback to the Redeemer from the Warhammer Monthly comics back in sort of early 2000s.
Those paint jobs are awesome, by the way.
Are they Redemptionists or Khador? Because those are two separate warbands.
So they're Redemptionists.
But is there a Khador warband already? Is that why?
There is already, yeah.
Okay, that's why.
Okay.
And they cross
Does
over.
this count as a book?
This is a book.
Because they showed a picture of a book.
That's
So
two
we
books.
got one of these.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So that's two. They do cross over with Cawdor, so they've already said in the rules that you'll be able to use them in your Cawdor gangs as well, or use them as their own gang. So it's a top-up as well as a new thing.
Cool.
These are
So
really
nice.
nice.
It's
These
two
are
books,
really...
right? Because that's only the second picture of a book we've seen, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
Books. We're at 2 so far, with a swing vote on the third. These
that
are great.
Tiebreaker.
That guy with a book, that's a great Minister and Priest waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
Or a Primaris Psyker, anything to replace a resin or metal figure.
Or anything close to like Traitor Guard.
I don't know how he fits as a Psyker. I think Missionary or something like that would be good, but Psyker probably not.
They look amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, super nice. Really nice.
You only get 6 in a box, you think? That's kind of sad.
So when they've done these expansion bits that go into each of the gangs, there've been these sort of upgrade boxes. So like the Goliath guys had 2 chonky boys, the Escher had like bow ladies and stuff, and there was less of them because there was very specific builds for them. So this looks like that to me again.
Do you think this is you think this is an upgrade kit, or is this a full plastic kit?
So it's an extra plastic kit that you use in addition to a Cawdor gang, or use on its own, like you did. So the Ogrin, slave Ogrins, they were a separate thing, but you could use them in gangs or as a unit gang on their own as well.
Just a quick little side note. There is actually, I don't want to cause contention. There is a book on a model.
Oh, geez, that doesn't count though. It's not paper. It's a plastic book.
Okay, fair.
Doesn't burn trees.
Yeah, it doesn't burn trees.
Okay, I'm just looking at the video on the website now, and the centaur guy has horns, which is very Kurnoth. So I'm gonna retract my chaos bet and reinvest in the
Order.
Kurnoth.
He's investing in the stonks, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You got there early, Rob, so your price has just increased. You've got some extra value in your stonk, mate.
Honestly, I think destruction, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's spiky, and the shield looks chaos-like. It's got spikes on it. So that's I'm confused. But all the detailing on it, it could be Kurnothi actually by the details on his armor. It's not clear.
I agree with Grimgar. I think new Destruction God. That's what I think. Destruction need a couple of like God level characters because they don't really have them. Even like Godrek is like a joke. Nathan, don't get mad. Has it got a download code? The book. I'm not sure if it has. Anyway, back to these Necromunda guys. They look really nice. Like, I think that whenever I see any of these things, just like Jim was saying earlier, whenever I see some of these things, I'm always just like, how do I use these in my existing armies anyway? Like, they look nice, or are they an inspiration for starting a new army? I'm probably not going to play Necromunda at the moment, so they're just awesome little models, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, they're super detailed. You have to say that the Necromunda department, whoever's responsible for that, have been smashing out the design work for a long time. Like, Underworlds and also... Jim, you were saying Underworlds obviously gives us loads of Age of Sigmar models, but Necromunda gives a load of 40k models.
I mean, if you want to just regular humans...
I mean,
you know what
also
makes me sad,
mainly
though,
just
to your
stand-ins
point
as well.
about the Necromunda? I'm like, the Necromunda team, or whoever does those designs, in the last 2 years, had they just been making Aspect Warriors, they could have remade the entire Eldar.
It's Forge World that do Necromunda.
I know. I guess my point is like, it sounds like it's actually not that hard to make plastic kits for models. Just saying.
It sounds like that's all they do, like often and many times.
Modelfloggers.com.
So shame that the various 40k-ish settings don't mesh directly with Warcry and Underworlds. As Warcry and Underworlds, like Necromunda, like integrating with 40k is a little like it doesn't really like make sense, right? Because every 40k battle is somehow in the ruins of a city, and all the Necromunda ones are all these gangs inside a city. So they're never.
I don't know. I feel like there's only so much you could do with it when 40k is just filled with like super weapons and super soldiers just stomping around the battlefield, and then you just got these regular dudes. And also, like we've got enough as is, right? It's kind of tricky to like integrate more data slates into that when it's effectively just variations on the same theme.
I hear what you're saying. I feel like that. Like I'm not saying Necromunda because I don't think Necromunda and Underworlds are really like parallel ultimately.
Because that's Hero Hammer.
Yeah, I just think you've just got some awesome models, man, and you kind of want to get them. You want to see them played.
You see them sometimes used as cultists. It's pretty good.
Or like if you want Nurgle cultists, you could use Cawdor, for example. It just leans straight into it perfectly.
Yeah, it looks really good. They're spending a long time on this. Necromunda must not be making a lot of money at the minute. Is my vibe. Like,
well, if you're not playing it, you're not going to necessarily be caring for it, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it's such a unique one where you want to paint and customize your guys.
Yeah, one over 40k people who are going to be watching are going to turn up. Spread it out so they can see the Necromunda shit.
I think that these are cool. I wouldn't mind seeing these guys have like actual rules in 40k. Like
instead of having conscripts, introduce the gangs as that. But the problem is you've got so many customizations to guns.
Yeah,
you couldn't just it's not like Warcry where you go just use this Warcry warband as is.
Yeah, you've already got all the different regiments as well and guards. So where else do you put them? Do you make your own codex? Oh, it's just guard with different tweaks. Right?
I wouldn't mind that though. Like, what about like a special squad? Like you hire into your gang, like that. Like you hire gangers in, like like some last ditch attempt to save a world. All your guardsmen are depleted, and so you hire in a couple of Necromunda gangs. And then they.
If we're getting to that level, then I think we've already got a problem of where we think we can draw the line as to what's an acceptable design unit to put in the game.
Yeah. They used to have the Arbites. How many? They're not going to bring them in.
I would be shocked if the number of data slates we didn't currently have in the game was under 1,000.
Oh, it's definitely over 1,000.
I'm not down to just add that. If you want to do Crusade rules,
rules. How about this? I'll pitch this to you, Tom. Delete all Forge World. Yeah, and then some Necromunda gangs you can have in.
No, have neither. The problem I have with Forge World was the same problem I have with these. Like, it's exactly the same issue. Like, it's like people come up and say, "Oh, well, you didn't have an issue where they included this." Like, yes, I did. I had an issue with all of it. It's not. I'm not just specifically aiming at a Forge World because I want to include units like from a specific book, or I've got some kind of bias against Forge World writing. I'm against the Forge World because there's so many extra units that I've got to look at. Like this game has already got a problem with bloat. I'm not like, oh, well, you didn't have an issue with the rest of the bloat. No, I have an issue with all the bloat. Cut it down.
These could work with sisters, couldn't they?
Yeah, they could.
As this lot, as an example, it's a weird kind of thing.
They would work really nicely with sisters. Yeah, sister battle.
If you want to play like an allied guard detachment with your sisters, bang, perfect.
Not even that. Just use them as some sort of priestly unit. Just give them rules.
Right,
no boys allowed, John. No boys allowed.
No, or just don't give them rules and use them as a thing.
Tory Rob has come up with a great suggestion.
You don't need to give them like different
special actions.
There's the new book, guys.
I
There's
see
a new
book in the background there. Is that a book?
Yeah,
that's a Necromunda rule book.
Isn't that just another version of the same book they announced?
Yeah, that's the same book.
That's Hive War, so that'll be a reprint of the basic rules.
Hey, can we talk about the fact that the terrain isn't rubbish?
Is that new terrain?
That's the same new terrain that they've released recently, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, but there's less of it. That's a lot less. That's only one box worth, so that's going to be less than 175 quid, like the last massive box that they did.
I remember what's the one with like the chainsaw corn dudes? The big box. That box was like $300 Canadian. I think it was like the most expensive box that I've ever seen them release. It was insane.
Because it was this terrain and the stair piece as well. This doesn't have any of the stair bits on it, so this is just the scattered terrain and the walls. There you go. It's coming up now. Ha! I was right. Brilliant.
Well, I like the actual. I like this new thing now. 47 objective markers. No, 11. The columns are quite nice. I thought, like the little bits. And then this is so inside this box you get the Escher gang and the Delac gang.
Yeah, that's cool.
Blast markers, blast from the past.
Oh man!
Wow, blast markers. Yeah, I know. Jeez.
I still have a whole stack of like, because in fantasy days, people would give you blast like nice like acrylic cut templates as like prizes for like, you know how now you get like 9-inch sticks basically at events. So you used to get templates like this. So I have a whole bit of like acrylic flamer templates.
Tag templates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this will be 100. This will be 95 quid, I predict, based on the walls box is about 50 quid. The objective markers are about 25 quid, and then the two gangs.
If anyone wants to buy some blast markers rather than buying this, hit me up. I've got tons.
So,
does this count as a book? Because I feel like Rob's starting. We're gonna need Rob seven book territory at this point.
Yeah. Did you
say 7 or 9?
7.
It says Hive War on it.
We've got 2 so far.
New. So that's
new.
A new book.
That's a new book. That's 3 for Rob. Let's go. Yeah. Still 40k to go.
I think Tom's out. There's no way Tom's.
Yeah, I predicted 2. I'm already gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just one more book. That's all I'm saying.
Let's get to the good stuff.
So it's a reboxing, right? Nothing in the box is new apart from the book.
No. So the last time they had the Corpse Grinder guys and the Palatine Enforcers, the previous box before that was Escher and Goliath. So this is a new loadout of gangs. The Delac are the ones next due to get an update book.
So we're getting rid of all those books, those models before they update them, are you saying?
So no, they're getting additions to them. So it's a good time to jump on Delac, for example, because they'll get some cool new toys to go with them.
Is that a new starter box?
That's the starter box. That's going to be 95 quid, I predict.
All right, that's quite a nice box.
There's not lots in it. It's going to be a solid price because they want to encourage people into the game.
That's quite a nice box, actually. Like way better than that. I mean, like maybe I'm a bit like
oh, there we go.
Golden spectacles because of
Warhammer 40k. Just put the paint down a second.
So don't shout it out. Just let it happen. Because I think John, you're ahead of us.
I'm always ahead.
Mechanicum, come on, please.
Oh, boring.
The least predictable thing.
So.
Oh.
Is it a prime? That's the question.
This is a super long video. Oh, is this Titanicus?
It's all glitchy.
No,
it's 40k.
No.
So it's all glitchy. So it's like they've stolen our overlay for this.
Is that a Thunderhammer?
You're a Thunderhammer.
Yeah. Oh. They've made a prototype.
It's Qatari Prime.
Oh my god.
Is that it?
So that's the main guy that they teased at the launch of 9th edition. And a book!
Oh, yeah.
Scrivo, what were you saying about not shouting it out?
Sorry. Dude? I'm excited.
Why?
Because
the least predictable. That was probably
the most obvious one.
What?
The thing is, that whole video for a single reveal of a model that we've already seen is super lame. I thought it was going to be like a unit of cool Thunderhammer wielding Skitarii dudes, but instead we got...
Yeah, I thought that. I thought we were going to see loads of like Thunderhammer Skitarii. I was getting super hype. I was like, what? Because this guy has even got a hammer.
No.
Then why would we see
he's got like a weird mace thing. It's like he's got a shit Primaris Chaplain's Crozius basically, but with a skull on it instead, like a little cog
on it. It's a talking stick.
Yeah, I appreciate Tommy Butters keeping a true like eye on what's been going on. 3 books, 1 on a model, 1 implied, 1 reprint. #bookwatch is where we currently are at. I like all Skitarii models. I mean, that's a lot of energy for 1 Skitarii model, right? I would say.
And he can't be used in the new Army of Renown either, because he's Skitarii.
Yeah.
Like, did they even do anything like that for Death Guard? Or like Dark Angels? No, we didn't get a cool video. We just got like
Death Guard. You did. You got a spinny model picture of Lord of Virulence.
Right, but like they didn't do like a cool video with like Mortarion narration or anything.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Because somehow the last year has been a nothing and an everything all at the same time.
I agree.
I know.
But when you say last year, do you mean 2020? Because I still think last year is 2019 in my head.
Yeah, same. I'm a big Skitarii fan, but I feel like I could kit bash this model like in 4 seconds from like all of my Skitarii bits. But I'm a big fan of.
They just described him as a supervisor for the AdMech. I'm like, how exciting, guys! He's like literally, he's like your middle manager of the AdMech. I was like, cool, way to sell him.
So he's a lieutenant, I think. It's probably mechanically how he's going to be, right?
Hey guys, do you want to cut this middle manager? Soon to come is your mid-level supervisor. Can't wait for the Mechanicum HR department.
But they're not human anymore, so they're just like Skitarii resources.
Just like middle managers, John.
Maybe
not human either.
Robot resources are
Robot resources. Skitarii staffing. That's what we get. The Skitarii staffing department is. This is a lot of hype.
It kind of reminds me of the robot in Return of the Jedi, where he's like, new acquisitions in Jabba's palace. Anyways.
I like that. I can't wait for the AdMech union rep to take the piss out of.
It's Susan from finances.
They were starting to organize, so they're like, "Hey, we got to release a new book before they organize into a union."
Yeah, we need to sort this right out. Games Stuff needs to get hyped to start a new army. Rob, middle management is the way. Yeah, that's what they think will get people excited. Bless their hearts. I don't think I'm too bothered about this. Like, I'm excited about the Skitarii book as a whole, but like they're showing us 1 model really when they're flogging us the book. And Jim, I was like you. I was excited that there was going to be a Thunderhammer Skitarii unit. I still think that there are more Skitarii models to come. I think. That's what I'm hoping.
I mean, with this, the thing I'm pleased about is that they're finally like. I don't think AdMech is in the direst need of a new book, but at least they're going to collate all their current rules
and clean it up, right?
Because there is a whole load of shit that's just everywhere for AdMech.
Other than also add in the Rust and Iron book, which you also need, or whatever it's called.
So they've had...
Are demons a joke to you, Tom?
So since their last Codex, they've had 2 splash releases, and then this guy. So there is a lot of stuff, right?
Oh, I love that Grimdark stuff.
The model is...
Is that Call? Is that supposed to be Call?
Is that Call?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That is a detailed picture.
He's
Look
big.
how many arms does he have? He's like...
That looks like it's Belisarius, yeah.
Yeah. Because those are like Terminator-style shoulder pads he's gained, almost. They're big chunky ones.
Yeah. How dare you?
Cataphractii style.
How dare you, you bitch. Yeah, they're called Mimrodons. Yeah, and I won't just because you're a 40k Mechanicum nub, yeah, right?
I just don't care. They're not a real army. Back in my day, they were just mentioned in the background, and then
those are Mimrodon shoulder pads. Yeah, like is what they are. How you are? That's gross.
Primaris Call.
Yeah.
What they're going to Primarisize him? Is that what you think's happening?
You get a Primaris, and you get.
He's been drinking from the special Kool-Aid himself.
The artwork's incredible though, like so detailed, like really nice.
I like this
slightly different style though. It is a slightly different style to the last few Codex ones.
So that's very uncall. Call doesn't have those small hands. No, that's a bigger call, is what we're saying. I'm with Scrivo.
So is it a call within a side of a call?
Do you think it's a new call or a call back?
Well, I don't know.
That's a joke.
I'm just ignoring you. That's why. It's a call within a call. It is a Russian doll, is what I was trying to suggest as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I missed that one. No one liked my joke, so that's fine. She's got booed in the chat. All right, fine.
There better not just be one model and one Codex for 40k. I'll be very sad.
Wait, what is it? No, because there's got to be the sisters, right? So, am I up to 4 books? I'm smashing.
That's 4.
4.
This is 4 including.
There's 2 more. Hey, I'm still in. I said 6. Did I say 5 or 6? I said 5.
5.
So I'm still in this.
Yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm smashing it. We're crawling out on you today.
I'm just gonna DOS the stream once the 5th book is out, and then we'll never know.
Perfect.
None of this ever. Jakari are still hype. New books is Angle. That's good. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with Tom. I think putting all of the different rules into one space, apart from the other space, which is the campaign book, is a nice little touch. Personally, I'm hoping against all hope that for some reason we also get some sort of Forge World edition from the Mechanicus stuff. This is my last hope for this edition, and then I'll finally give up the ghost after hoping this for 3.5 years. But I'm still dreaming.
Hey, you've got 2 Forge World AdMech units. That's all you need.
That's a good point. Someone in the chat has pointed out the fact that one of the Skitarii in the background artwork has got a spear. That's a good call.
Yeah. So is that a hoplite?
Oh my god. Oh yeah, a hoplite. Yeah, which are from Forge World. They do have.
Because it's one of the 2 kits you're allowed to use currently in 40k.
Yes. Yeah. Will the points for AdMech be out of date by the time they release the field manual? The best bit is you won't know what the points are for the entire thing, because we don't know what points are for 40k at all, or the unit sizes. Yeah. And if you guys want to hear about that, you can go and listen to Duplicity Paints, recent podcast on that particular subject. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it. I got that right, didn't I?
Nice segue. Yep. That was good.
Perfect.
I'm just in shock that Rob promoted something else.
I always do. How dare you?
You often forget to get the detail there because you're just too busy getting excited.
And also because I don't watch anyone else's content. That's a really important point. I'm literally assembling Pelostats and Hoplites right now. They're such great models. I'm hoping that they if they make it into this book, then maybe we'll see some other upgrade kits. Because doing upgrade kits for Skitarii would be an awesome way to expand that range in some ways. So I'll be looking forward to that.
We've not seen any Forge World stuff in a Codex ever, have we? So that would be quite a weird thing for them to do.
Custodes? Didn't they have some stuff?
No, none of that's in the. That's all in this armor compendium.